Zirksee, the young legend minute, man. We are super wobbing in the channel this morning. Zirksee, bro, a good afternoon to you, man. Happy Friday. Thank you for making some time for the show this morning.
No problem, man. Glad I could fit it in.
Bro, I'm also glad you could fit it in. So are you in a new place right now? Or are you also like in the midst of a move? This looks like a new setup type of background that we got going on. What's your situation?
So this is the new place.
Dope.
I'm almost done with everything now. We're like getting it all set up. Saturday, so tomorrow, today's Friday.
Yep.
Saturday I have like my furniture coming. I have my old furniture, but I have like new furniture coming. So when that gets here, we're pretty much done. And then the house is complete. We'll be good to go.
That's a beautiful thing. Moving's got to be like one of the top three. We were talking about it with Popular Stranger yesterday too. Got to be one of the top three worst things you could possibly do as an adult. You got to be relieved to almost be done with it, right?
Yeah, dude, it's terrible. It's really hard just because like when you're moving, especially like with our jobs, whatever, you know, trying to do YouTube and stream, whatever, it makes it hard because you have stuff you want to do every day, get your videos done. So you got like pre-record in advance, time schedule stuff. When you're not gonna be making vids, it makes it a lot harder to do.
For sure. Yeah, bro, and I mean, maintaining the upload streak is pretty remarkable. Yeah. But Zirk, man, so again, really an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show. You were the very first Madden content that I ever was a viewer of, just point blank period.
Really?
Yeah, man, the very first Madden content I was ever watching was Zirksee videos, and actually I got a story to tell you about that. I'll tell it at the end of the show. But just know it's meant a lot to me. Popular Stranger was the guy that made me convert over to Twitch. I know you're not so much of a Twitch guy, but a really cool moment for sure to be sitting down with you and talking like this. Kind of the point of these FENDTALKS that I've been putting together. We know your content, we know the daily uploads, we know how successful you've been in this realm, and I'm sure, you know, myself and everyone else wants to hear so much about that. But you know, another part of what I'm trying to get at here is kind of your origin story, like the path that you've walked to kind of create the dude that we know today, relatively young, but, you know, with such work ethic and dedication that I know everyone admires. So kind of just to get like a better rounded picture of you as a dude, as you exist outside of your content. And I know, you know, it seems like we get the real Zirksee in coming through in your content, but I know there's also probably more to the story there as well, bro. So I guess maybe we could start from the beginning, I suppose. Where did you grow up? Like, where are you from, and what did the family home look like? Was it mom and dad? You have siblings? Where are you from?
So I was actually born in Florida. I was born in Florida for like, I was only here for like 3 months, so although I was born here, I never actually experienced like Florida life.
Right.
And then the earliest that I can remember, I've always lived in like PA when I was growing up. So I lived with my mom. She wasn't with my dad. My dad and her just weren't together at that time. So it was me and my sister at that time. I have a younger sister. And then I have an older sister. I have a little brother who has Down syndrome. Then I have an older brother as well. So my older brother is my stepbrother. Okay. My younger brother is my half brother. So it's my dad, my stepmom. And then my little sister is my mom and her ex. And then my really like full 100% sibling is the only one is my older sister. So that's like it there.
So you got it. I mean, that's like a full house, though. I mean, do y'all do events? Like, will you? Because I know, like, I got also my parents separated, so like you'll have some events where you're like X amount of people, and then other events where it's Y amount of people. Do you guys do anything where everyone comes together, or is that less common?
Nah, not a great relationship between the mom and my dad for sure.
Fair enough.
Or in general, just my mom and me. It's not a very good relationship. So, but when I grew up, I was with my mom until I was 12. So the situation there, me and my sister wanted out, to be honest with you. Not going to go into details of it, but it just wasn't a good environment to be around when you're that young, whatever. So my dad actually lived in Florida at the time. He was in Florida. He had my little brother and my stepbrother, both lived with him and my stepmom. And then they actually moved up to New York because my mom actually lived like pretty close to New York. So my dad wanted to come up. You know, we were calling him saying, hey, you know, we want to get out of this. And when you turn 12 years old, you can actually tell the courts, hey, I want to go live with my dad. I want to go live with my mom, whatever. You can kind of choose where you want to live at. Yeah, so at that point, we wanted to move out, right? We wanted to live with my dad. So my dad had to come up, had to leave his job, sell everything down here, whatever, come up to New York to get us. So ended up moving with my dad. when I was 12. And then we lived in upstate New York from then, which was definitely a lot better. The situation was a lot better there. When I lived with my mom, we definitely, I wouldn't say we were poor, because when I think of poor, I think like really, really bad situation. We weren't poor at all, my mom. We had everything we needed, whatever, but the situation itself just wasn't good with my mom, so we moved to my dad. We were doing pretty decent. I would say we were definitely doing pretty decent when I first got there. The first issue kind of arose when I was 15. I was about to turn 15 years old, and my dad actually got hurt at work. So he actually still to this day, because like some serious crazy stuff happened. He got a herniated disc in his back, so he couldn't work anymore. The work that he did was like physical labor stuff.
Right.
So he got a herniated disc. He got surgery on it. The surgery popped another disc.
Holy.
Then he got surgery on that one, and he popped another disc. So currently, my dad refuses to get surgery. So he still has a herniated disc in his back, and he refuses to get surgery on it. So with that, we kind of figured, because it happened on the job. We were going to, he was going to get some workers' comp, whatever, but we just didn't know how long it was going to be until we could be better off. So at that point, it got a little tough because it was only my stepmom working. And the way that it kind of worked out was when my dad actually worked, he would work in the morning, and then my stepmom would go to work when he got home because, my little brother, he has Down syndrome. He's decently higher functioning. Like, he's really good at like video games. Like, he will kick your butt in Mario Kart, bro. Like, he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
Like, he actually knows what he's doing. He likes to play like what's the name of it? Sleeping Dogs, I think. It's like a little bit of an older game.
Okay.
It's called Sleeping Dogs though. So like, you can drive cars and stuff, and this dude is like swerving in between traffic, and like he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Legend.
Yeah, he's really good at that. He doesn't talk too much. He mostly like types stuff out on his DS, and he'll bring it to you and show you what he wants to do, whatever. He knows sign language, stuff like that, but he doesn't talk a lot. But obviously with him, someone's got to be home to watch him, so they kind of had to alternate there. And when my dad got hurt, he's just collecting disability checks, waiting on that, and then my stepmom had to work. So at that point, things got pretty tough. At that point, I kind of was forced to get a job, which if you know New York State, 15 years old, you can't get a job. So it's very, very hard. So what I had to do to be able to pay for school lunches, to do like school clothes, really anything that I needed or I wanted at that point, because we had everything we needed. We had some assistance from, my family members, which, I mean, I love my grandma to death. I'll do anything for my grandma. She helped us out a ton in that time. Like, she is a legend. My grandma's a legend, dude. Like, I'm trying to retire her if I can, as soon as possible. Like, I'm gonna do what I can, because she's getting kind of old now.
Hell yeah.
But she's an absolute legend, man. Helped us out a ton there. But yeah, I did have to try to work. So what I did, I was trying to find some place to work, and I ended up going to the school, because, I mean, at 15 years old, there's nothing you can do. So I went to the school. I was talking to them. They actually had a program that you could do over the summer. So what I did for, I think it was a month and a half of the 3 months of the summer, Monday through Friday, I would wake up 8. I would walk to the school, because my stepmom had to go to work, and we only had one car. We can only afford one car. So I had to walk like 2.5 miles to the school, get to the school, and we would do like picking weeds out of the grass. We'd scrape like gum off the bottom of like the chairs and the desk and stuff like that.
Jeez,
we would sweep and mop like everywhere. So for like a month and a half, I did that. I think I made like $1,000 in like that month and a half. So it was actually pretty decent money for like a 15-year-old kid,
Oh yeah.
So that basically, since I was 15 years old now, I've been paying most of my bills. Like, since I was 15, I did like phone bill, school clothes, school lunch, or that type of stuff. So I'm actually kind of grateful for it, because it did teach me responsibility, money management. And I think literally that really was like the start of me being like hungry to get out. And I'm not thankful that my dad got injured, you know what I mean? But
sure,
like it kind of inspired me to be like working hard. Like, before that, I was in sports and stuff. I really liked to wrestle. I was pretty decent wrestling, honestly. I was pretty decent. I wasn't going to go, like, to college, I would have got destroyed. But I was pretty decent in, like, middle school, high school, whatever. But at that point, I just tried to work. So my birthday is in August. So we went through summer, and I did that. Mm-hmm. And then I turned 16, so I immediately started working at Burger King. So I worked at BK.
Hustling. Yeah. I fucking love this.
Yeah, BK was... Oh, man. I don't recommend fast food. If you're... Oh, dude, no, don't do it. It's so bad. It is so... I love that I chose BK, though, instead of, like, McDonald's or Wendy's, because BK is, like, so slow. Like, who goes to BK?
No, nobody goes to BK.
If you like
BK's
BK.
trash.
Yeah, BK's bad, dude. Okay? I'm just saying, BK is not very good. So, I mean, I worked at BK. proud to say I was like the fastest person in the kitchen. You've never seen someone make a Whopper faster. Okay, I was back there chefing it up, bro. I was good. So worked at BK for a couple years. My older brother actually worked there before me, so that's how kind of like I got it in there.
Okay.
Because he could just, I mean, if you work at fast food, you have a family member. Hey, my little brother needs a job. Boom, you just go in.
A short application process for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. So I was 16 at that time. I started YouTube when I was. What do you think about this? Was I 17? No, I was 16. Yeah, I was 16. So at 16, I started working at BK, whatever. That's kind of when I started getting into Madden a lot. I definitely started getting into Madden a lot around that time. Mr. Golden Sports was definitely my favorite Madden YouTuber. I keep
hearing about Mr. Golden Sports. A lot of you like OGs of the community that was an inspiration. So you were watching Mr. Golden Sports quite a bit yourself? Oh, yeah.
Dude, I love GS. He was always so funny. Just a comical dude. He was really good at the game.
Yeah.
Still is pretty good at the game. You know, definitely a funny dude. So watched a lot of GS. Anto, of course. Toke.
Yep.
The Kran's Melt. The Kran's Melt doesn't do YouTube. Do you know what that is? The Kran's Melt?
I don't. I've recognized every name until just that one.
Yeah. So the Kran's Melt is honestly probably the reason I started YouTube. To be honest with you, the Kran's Melt's probably the reason I started because at the time in like the house that we had, we had bunk beds. Me and my brother did, so we shared a room, whatever.
Yeah.
And at that time, my older sister was there with my dad. So it was me, my older sister, my younger brother, and my older brother. My younger sister always lived with my mom, because didn't have any parents, whatever, with my dad related there. Right. So it was me and my brother, my older brother. We would share a room. We had bunk beds, whatever. So we kind of had to split the Xbox, Right. So on Christmas Day in 2016, because it was Madden 15.
Right.
I got the game. That was when like Lizard Squad happened. Remember Lizard Squad? They like took down the Xbox servers, the PlayStation servers, like all Christmas Day. It was terrible.
And they made a fuss of it too. Yeah, they were really proud of themselves for that one.
Exactly. And honestly, the reason why I got really into Madden, because I've played Madden before. I would play Madden versus my brother, whatever, for those couple years leading up to when I was 16, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I never got into Ultimate Team. I actually tried in Madden 25, but I couldn't figure out how contracts worked. Like literally, I was too stupid to just YouTube how to get contracts. So my players ran out of contracts, and I was like, well, I guess I'm done.
Guess I can't play anymore.
Guess I'm done. I wonder how many people actually did that too. I bet you that actually stopped quite a few people from playing. Bro,
imagine Zirksee, as we know him now, just completely stumped by contracts. My man knows the in and outs of every game. He can predict what like fucking Muttmaster is going to be. And my man is just like, I just don't get the contracts thing. What the hell?
I couldn't figure it out, bro. I could not figure out contracts. I was like, what the hell? I couldn't figure it out. So Madden 15 came around, and I got it for Christmas Day because we would play it, but I wasn't in a MUT, whatever. No need to actually get it in like August, whatever. I wasn't a MUT guy.
Right.
But then I started to play MUT because I've been watching, GS, been watching Crans, all whatever. And when I started playing MUT, I remember vividly there was a solo challenge you could do to get a free Bo Jackson. I think it was a 90 overall, I want to say. I think it was a free 90 overall Bo. And also I had like some Christmas presents. In one of the Christmas presents was a flashback Reggie Bush. I remember that. I remember that because there were presents that came out after Christmas back then.
Right,
so I got the Christmas presents, got flashback Reggie Bush. I think honestly, like getting that really got me hyped, and I'm like, oh man, that's a pretty good pull. Yeah, some decent coins right there. So I would sell that. As I said, I watched GS, all those guys, kind of see what players worked for them, and I was really into it. Around like January, February, I started to get really, really into MUT, and then I started playing that like a ton over the summer, leading into Madden 16. So Madden 16 was when I actually started YouTube because I had actually been, and shout out to Kran's Melt again, dude. Big shout out to the Kran's Melt. I know it doesn't do YouTube anymore, but like I reached out to him once in a while and talked to him. I reached out to him. I actually started on Twitter that year. Got in contact with him, was DMing him. I'd send him like Xbox clips and stuff, and me doing like stuff mid-game. And you can even go back and take a look. This is before I even started YouTube. It was when the Memorial Day happened. Memorial Day with like the RG3 and everything. Yeah. He still has a video up on his channel. You can find it. In that video that he did the review, he actually shows clips that I sent him on Xbox. And he was like, dude, dude, you're pretty good. He's like, I'm really not that good. He's like, dude, you're pretty good. You should get into this, right? So I was like, maybe I will. But in December of that year, he actually showed me, because like December is like the best month for YouTube revenue by far, right? So he showed me his YouTube revenue for that month. I don't know why he did, but he showed me his YouTube revenue for that month, and I was like, damn, like that's some good money.
I want to get involved.
Yeah. I was like, dang, like, you know, that's some good money. I was like, you know, BK. Basically, what I would do was I would come home from work, or I'd come home from school. My bad. I'd come home from school. I would have to rush out a video, and then I would walk like 2 miles to work. So I would do that like every single day, and I'd have to work at like 5, right? And I would get home around like 3:45, whatever. So I'd pump out a video, and that's kind of what taught me how to edit really quickly. Like, you know, I get vids up really fast right now on like content and stuff, because that's just years of training, whatever. But he showed me that, and I was like, yeah, I got to get into this. So I bought an HP Flyer Red. It was a $300 PC or a laptop. I bought an Elgato. And I bought a Blue Yeti. I still have that Yeti to this day. I still have the Yeti. I don't use it, but I still have the Yeti.
You got to keep your OG equipment. It reminds you where you came from, right?
Yes. Exactly. I think I still have the C920 too. I didn't have that at the beginning, but I have a C920 still.
Nice.
But I started on that. The PC, the laptop was terrible. Okay, $300 laptop. Couldn't run. I could run like OBS, nothing else. You couldn't run like Photoshop or have a Google Chrome, but like it was so bad trying to run all that hardware. People come to me all the time. They're like, "Yo, Zirk, like, what equipment should I get? What PC or laptop?" I'm like, "Bro, don't ask me. I'm the last person you want to ask about the specs." I'm like, "Look up the specs, get what works for me, bro," because I was bad at that. So started doing YouTube. Wasn't making much money off it, obviously, when you first start off. At that point, though, I actually have a funny story. At that point, though, there was no requirement for monetization. So I started off instantly making money, but it was literally like a penny a day. Like 2 pennies, you know, because you're not getting any views. And also, big shout out to Kranz, dude, because Kranz actually gave me a shout out on his video. And he said, you know, go sub to Zirk. I think I got like 100 subs off the video, which at that point, you're like, dang,
it's a bunch.
Let's get 100 subs like that, bro. And instantly I was juiced up. I'm like, I got to keep this going. At that point, though, I wasn't doing daily uploads, and admittedly so, like in my dad's house, you know, not having as much money and stuff, it does create a lot of tension. Your stress is really high. Like money is like the number one thing I think for like stress related issues. It's without a doubt. It's like money, especially in relationships. So, as I said, I live with my older brother. There was I think my stepmom had some resentment towards my mother because they've known each other since they were kids. They never liked each other. So me being in the house, she kind of had some resentment towards me just because of my mother. And like, I just want to put out there as well, like now that I'm older, whatever, things have happened, we're completely fine. Okay. We are completely normal. They're in a much better, relationship. We have a much better relationship, me and my stepmom, whatever. But at the time it was pretty bad. Like
family stuff is complicated.
Yeah, dude. Like anything, like we would get report cards, right? And no offense to my older brother, but he's really bad at math. He's really bad at math. Wasn't very great in school. So he would get like, C's, D's, he even failed like a class before. I would get B's and A's. I had like 1 C one time, and she like flipped.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, flipped about it. So like when I recorded videos, you can go back and take a look at my old videos. Like this was me. I was like, hey, what's going on, guys? Like I was literally like whispering in my mic.
You don't want to wake anybody, I'm sure. Right.
Well, not just that. Also, like if she was home, right? I just had to be quiet because if she heard me, she would go run to my dad and complain, whatever. Which the full circle is pretty funny. Like she would get mad if I was doing YouTube videos, but things change now.
Yeah.
Now that things are a little bit more advanced, it's a little bit different. But back then, I wasn't making money. It's not like I could be like, oh yeah, well I'm making money doing it because I was making pennies a day. So something we actually did in my school, we all had a computer class, right? So there was like 30 kids there. I'm like, yo. Open up like 6 tabs, okay? Go to my channel, play videos, and autoplay vids. So I had like 30 kids in the class. Don't do this. Don't do this. I'll tell you why not. I'll tell you why not to do this, okay? So I was making like pennies a day. That day, I made like 12 cents. And I was like, bro, this is the greatest thing ever. This is the greatest thing ever. Until a week later, I get an email from Google AdSense, and they say, we detected suspicious activity because it's all the same IP. You know what I mean? 30 computers playing 6 network. Tabs. Yeah. They're like, something's off here, right? So they suspended my monetization for a month.
Damn, bro. Yep. That cost you at least $2.
That's what I'm saying, bro. $3 a month has its origin. You know
that's
what I mean?
Tough.
$3, that's origin, bro. So, it is what it is. I learned my lesson there. I missed out on some good cheeseburgers or something. I don't
Minimum.
know.
A couple gumballs. I don't know, dude. Snack stand cookie or something is bad. It's bad news.
Gumballs. But we actually ended up, so that year I kept working at BK and I was spending money on, I don't recommend you do this, by the way. If you're a new YouTuber, all right, unless you have money set aside, I don't recommend that you go out spending, $100 on a bundle when you're not even going to make $1 back off the video, which is what I was doing for some of those vids. Maybe that did help me out, though, kind of having that thing there. But I took advantage of something that I noticed in the Madden community, because at that time when I started YouTube back then, it was all about gameplays. People like Coke, Kohlenberger, Anto, everybody did gameplays. No one really cared that much about covering the content videos. And I noticed this because like the first people to have content vids up would be like, I'm trying to think if it was Wheels. I think Wheels was started back then. I don't remember what time we got
at that point.
I don't remember. I didn't personally watch Fox back then. I don't know if Fox was around back in Madden 16. Maybe the chat knows, but I personally don't remember if he was or not. But I know for a fact, like those videos, those content vids, no one was throwing them up by 11. Like it was like 2, 3, 4 p.m. Right. So when I got out of school, I'd still be one of the first people up with a vid, and I was like, okay, I could take advantage of this, And then during the summer, all those content vids, whatever, I was pushing those videos out, trying to get them up as fast as I possibly can, and then boom, right off to work, whatever. We were then going into my senior year at this point after I'd started YouTube.
Yep.
And when the year started off, I think I had maybe 300 subs back in like August. Luckily, my dad had actually got his workers' compensation at that time, so we decided. My dad moved up from Florida. We're going to move back down to Florida. So we moved back down to Florida that time. We got into the house there. The workers' comp, I guess, I don't know how much my dad got for it. I guess it wasn't as much as he was expecting because we were able to afford a house. We rented a house. And, that was pretty much it. We didn't really have that much more money aside from that. So the struggle part of it was still there where I definitely had to pay for everything that I had. Only had one car, whatever. It was whatever with that point. I was used to it pretty much at that point. So started school down here. Schooling down in Florida, if any of you go to school in Florida, you have it so easy. Let me tell you. Schooling down here, it's a cakewalk. I had 105 in physics. Do I look like I know anything about physics?
I didn't know they made 105s, bro. That's wild.
That's what I'm saying.
Jeez.
Like, literally, I would get the test, right? The physics teacher would hand out the test. Phone in hand. Every person in class, like,
God, jeez, shameless.
Like, literally, the teacher's sitting at the desk, bro. We're all just sitting there just looking up answers. He didn't care. He did not care, bro. And, like, I will say, though, one thing that messed me up transferring schools was I front-loaded my classes in New York. So my freshman year, my sophomore year, my junior year, so many classes, right? I had no study halls, whatever. I think I had one study hall like required. My senior year, though, I didn't have a math class. I didn't have a math class, science class. I didn't have those because you didn't require it. There was only 3 years of both those you need. So I had an English, a social studies, I had a accounting class, which I wanted to go to college for accounting at that point, so I actually wanted to take that class. And then aside from that, it was just study halls, gym, and lunch. So I had like 3 study halls during the day. My day was a half day, like every single day senior year. When I moved down to Florida, though, it's different. So I had to take another year of math. I had to take another year of science, which is why I took physics. The math class they put me in, though, was like New York 9th grade algebra. It was like the easiest class I've ever, like literally I would walk in the class and I'd ask the teacher, I'd be like, teacher, can I just get the homework? And he'd just hand it to me. I'd fill it out in 5 minutes and I'd be done with the class. Like, but he's teaching the lesson and like the homework's so easy, it's easy.
Yikes.
Like it was just ridiculously easy. So if you're in Florida, you have it good, bro. You better have a 4.0 GPA.
And this move happened for you right before your senior year, so this must have kind of shaken things up. I mean, you're leaving a spot that you'd been for 3 years. Was this a happy move for you, or were you kind of like, I don't know, if it was me, I wouldn't have loved it. What did you feel about the move at that point?
It was mid senior year, so it was actually in September we moved. At that point, I kind of, like, I love Florida, and I'm glad that we did move down to Florida and everything that happened once I did move to Florida. But when you are in a place for that long, right, and you're in your senior year,
right,
kind of wanted to finish it out there. Like, I almost wish that I got a diploma from that school. You know what I mean? Like, I wish that I kind of graduated from there. all my friends over there, whatever. Those are the ones that I actually still am in contact with. Like all the people from Florida, a couple of them, but all my New York guys from like our main group still in contact. You know, I take trips up, the vacations that I take like once a year up to New York. You know, we have some fun up there. We go up there once a year, whatever.
Nice, man.
But it was you know, it was an move. We moved from a not so great house to a better house that ended up having some issues and terrible landlords. Like some landlords in Florida are just awful. Like the dude didn't fix anything.
Right.
Yeah, we literally the week that we moved down here, we got hit by the first hurricane in like 6 years or something that Florida had. So I brought like the bad Zirk luck with me, and we got hit by a hurricane that that week. So
you wound up turning it around afterward, though. So but the move to Florida, from what you were saying, kind of was a big piece of the things that happened after. So this is kind of where your come up really, I suppose, starts. Maybe kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would definitely say so, because we moved in September. I actually ended up not uploading for like, I think it was like a week and a half, 2 weeks, because we moved. Yeah. Now, since I started uploading in Florida, I've not missed a day. So that is when the streak started. So my senior year of high school, I haven't missed a single day since then, and I just worked on it. Luckily, though, when I moved down here, I transferred to Burger King. They just took me in instantly because they saw that I'd been working at BK for the past couple of years. Like, oh yeah, we'll take you. So that was like, 2 miles down the road, pretty much same thing as New York. And I gotta say, I would much rather walk to work in Florida than New York, because
it's a little different.
Wintertime, it was awful. It was awful walking to work in like New York, man. Totally. So into the senior year, I hit 1,000 subscribers in December. And I got to give a shout out to Combine Artworks. I don't know if he probably still does stuff, but I hired him to do like thumbnails and stuff for me, which at that time paid him like $1 a thumbnail, whatever. Like I still wasn't making much money there.
Right.
I actually ended up getting my first coin sponsor in November at that time, which again, being in the situation that I'm in at that time, it was a necessity really to take that extra money. Right. I felt like I kind of needed to help around the house, help pay the bills and stuff, because we were still struggling at that time.
Of course.
So it was a necessity for me to take it, although I had relationships, and I've talked about this before with Mutt Guru. I'd actually been talking with him. I actually even edited videos for him on his YouTube channel. So when I got the coin sponsor, he even, told me years later, he's like, the only reason I was mad is because I was trying to work something out and get you in as like a game changer or whatever in the future. So at that time, he was pretty mad about it, that I ended up taking the coin sponsor. But the coin sponsor was literally $100. Like I got $100 a month, but that $100 at that time, on top of the YouTube revenue, which difference. I think I was only making like $100 a month off YouTube at that time as well, plus the BK. I'm like, dude, $100 a month, like that pays for my school lunches, that pays for my phone bill. I'm like, I need that money, bro. So I had to take that money at the time. But I always tell people when you start YouTube, like the hardest part is that first 1,000 subscribers. So I hit 1,000 in December. I did a face reveal, which Twitter went crazy when they found out I was a little white boy. They absolutely loved that.
That was unexpected. What did they think they were gonna get? I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I guess like some 20-year-old dude. I don't know. I was
fair enough.
17-year-old white kid.
So this is when the streak started, though. You said in November is when the streak started. You took the coin in December. Is that how that timed out?
I think it was October.
Gotcha.
The streak started, and then I took my first coin deal in November, and then I don't remember what the coin site was, bro. I know a big meme on Twitter was that my code was only 3% off. I remember that. I was getting memed. I was getting memed hard, and like at that time though. Like I said, like content on YouTube was a lot different. So what I actually started to do, like everybody does it now, but back then, like things were so different. I was like one of the first people to put free in their titles. So when we get like, new promos, free 90 overall player, whatever like that. People were bashing me, calling it clickbait on Twitter, all this, all that. Right. And I think when things changed, because everyone at that time still said, I see the chat, it wasn't Rock Bottom. Rock Bottom was like a year later. It was like some like different site. I don't remember the name of it. Things changed when Toke was like the first big guy to put free in his title. So when Toke did that, which was actually at the start of Madden 17, I think it was, with the Gatorade solos, you got like a couple free base leagues, whatever. He put free in his title. After that, boom, everybody putting free in their title. But before that, When little
Zirk
old
had it
Zirk
early.
was doing it.
Yeah.
When little old Zirk was doing it. It was clickbait.
Everyone's got a problem with it. Come on, man.
Shout out to Toke. I'll talk about him a little bit later because he's a legend, bro.
For sure.
But I graduated in, I want to say it was May. Might have been sooner than that, actually. I think Florida graduates a little bit earlier. I think it might have been even sooner than May. I don't remember what month it was. And at that time, my brother had actually already left for the military. He's still actually in the military to this day. So at that time, now I got my own room. I'm feeling, feeling a little big. Feeling a little big. And, I got my own room and everything. No bunk beds. Had a little futon.
Come on, we're coin sponsored. We weathered through the monetization ban.
Feeling good, man. Come on. You feel good.
Okay.
I had actually been talking a lot to that dude Sly, if you know who he is.
Yep.
You know who Sly is? Oh wow, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Just by name, not by personally, but yeah. Just by name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew Sly because he's kind of like in that older group, like with Crayons. I've been talking with him. Sly is a genius, dude. Like he's a genius. He definitely helped me out and told me like stuff that I should get for my setup, different stuff like that, whatever. And big shout out to Sly, man. Definitely big shout out to Sly. But at that time, I didn't know what I wanted to do. My dad was actually trying to tell me what I should do. Is go into the Army, because my brother's in the Army, and he was like, you should go in there, you should go to reserves. He told me I should do reserves, because I told him, like, I really want to do YouTube.
Yeah.
When I graduated, I had just a little bit over 1,000 subs. Wasn't really doing all that much, like I said, money, whatever. So he wanted me to do reserves, and I told him, I kind of want to go to college. If I do reserves, I know my YouTube's done. Because I understand, like, I don't understand the algorithm. No one does. It's so complicated, so complex. You think you know, but you don't know. Okay, right. You really don't know.
Coming from you,
you think you know,
but you have no idea. Right?
No, you don't know, dude. So what I decided to do was take the year off. I was like, listen, I kind of want to go to college. If I go to reserves, I'm done. Because when I go to boot camp, I don't have my setup. I can't make vids, Right. And that was like August. That was like August that boot camp was going to be, and I was like, I can't do that. I'm going to miss the first month of Madden. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I was like, I don't want to go to college right now because, then I have to take out student loans, do all this, do all that. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, let me take a break. I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to work 40 plus hours a week at BK, and I'm going to do YouTube. So then I think as well, what really helped me, like I said, like Madden as a whole, the content has definitely shifted right now. I would say like right now in the current verse of content, universe, I should say, it's mostly tips, pack openings. Gameplays are still relevant, but if you take a look at what videos pull the most views right now for Madden, it's definitely content vids. It's 100% content vids.
It's not even close. Yeah,
it's not. It's not even close, bro. So it was like June, and no, it was actually like it was June when EA started to do it. They were releasing like news for Madden 17 at that time. Mm-hmm. There wasn't really many people doing it. So again, me being me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work my work schedule around the content drops when EA is gonna be going over news for the game. So when I did that, at that point by June, I had 3K subs, and then from June to the beginning of August, I went from 3K to 10K. Like my channel exploded like that. And I always tell people this, like things could change so quickly for you. You just never know, man. Like I see like those. They're not like memes, but like the pictures where it's like the dude digging the tunnel and like the one dude turns around and the other dude
the one you're
like
talking
right
about.
There. Bro, it's literally like that. Like you just never know what could change for you so quickly, especially in a place like YouTube where we don't know the algorithm, but you could pop off one video, boom. Right. Like it could just go for you. So went from 3K to 10K. I think my most viewed month at that time was like 100K views. I think in August I had 600,000 views. So at that point, I vividly remember Mike Mac DMing me, and he's like, hey man, congrats on the month. He's like, you going full-time YouTube now? And I'm like, huh? Like I can't quit VK yet. Like, and that was actually the time when, as well, this is when 10-minute Demon Time Zirk came out, right? Because those 600,000 views, let me tell you, the revenue was not that high because I wasn't doing 10-minute vids. I wasn't doing mid-rolls. It was not that good. So September came around, had another good month. By the end of the year, I think I had, what did I hit by the end of the year? I think it was like 20K. It had to be like 20K by like December because it was just such a good year for like Madden in general and Ultimate Team content, all that. So I had started doing 10-minute vids, every single vid, dude. I was stretching them vids out like Laffy Taffy. That was, dude. Oh my god, people get on me now. Like I'm gonna be so honest with you guys. 10-minute vids were so like hard to do back then with certain content vids. Like the worst one I ever did. It was so bad. Oh my god, it was so bad. Chemistry. It was like the chemistry souls are being announced, and there was like a picture of Marshawn Lynch. Like literally just a picture. I made it a 10-minute mid, bro. 10-minute video. I don't know how I did it. It was like 10:01 exactly, bro. It was tough.
Goodness.
So, like the community was getting on me about that too. But I never hid from it. I was like, damn right I'm making 10-minute vids. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get the extra revenue. Like literally the difference between doing a 3-minute video and doing now it's 8 minutes. And I'm going to be honest, I don't have to stretch vids at all. Like it's so easy for me to do 8-minute vids after years of doing 10-minute videos to get those mid-rolls in. It's very, very rare that I have to stretch out, even if it's like an extra minute, whatever. Like I've gotten really good at it. It's like double the revenue, bro. It's literally like double the revenue when putting those mid-rolls in. So it's big. Like it's a huge difference between doing a 7-minute and 59-second video to an 8-minute video now. It's literally like double the revenue.
And is that because you can put the mid-rolls into an 8-minute video where you cannot put them into a 7-minute video?
Exactly, yeah, because you can't do mid-roll ads on videos that are shorter than 8 minutes. And it used to be 10-minute videos. And one person that I saw doing it, and I noticed it, and I was like, dang, he's got a lot of mid-rolls, bro, was your boy Savage. Your boy Savage used to do 10-minute vids, and he put like, I remember one thing that he said on Twitter one time, he's like, it's like a TV show. You have ads in a TV show, so why not put ads in your YouTube videos? You know, just get the extra money. Like, it is what it is. A 5-second ad, boom, you come up. He put like 4 mid-rolls in all his vids. So what I do now and what I did then, back then when it was 10-minute vids, I would do ad at the beginning, ad at the end, of course. I would do an ad at 2 minutes. I would do an ad at 4 minutes. I would do an ad at 6 minutes and 8:30, I want to say. So I have 4 mid-roll ads in the vids.
Gotcha.
Now what I do is I put one at 1:30, 3:30, 5:30, 7:30. Every single video. Every single video, it's there. And to be honest, I think people have gotten kind of used to it, and more YouTubers are starting to put mid-roll ads. So, like, back when I started doing it, there was a lot of complaints about it. But now it's not so as much. So, by October, I had signed my first big coin deal. Like, a pretty decent-sized coin deal. Like, probably about, without getting into specifics of it.
Sure, yeah.
Like, more than I was making at BK.
It's
working
big.
As much as I did. It was a pretty good deal. Yeah, so it was a pretty good deal. So, at that time, you know, I signed that deal, and things were going good, but I wanted to ensure, if I quit doing BK, I want to make sure I'm good. I could have gone full-time YouTube probably by October, but I was like, I want to ride this out a couple months, you know, make sure it's not a 1-month thing, a 2-month thing, whatever, and I did it through January. January is when I went full-time YouTube. I quit doing BK. I still kind of wanted to go to college at that point, but after December, like I said, December is that big month for YouTube revenue, so... Now, December came around, and I was like, all right, I'm good. You know, let me quit this. Yeah, I didn't even actually have at the time even my driver's license. I didn't even have a car, whatever. And again, there were some big money issues, literally specifically around December and January with like my family, whatever. Like my dad needed a pretty good amount of money to keep paying the bills at that time. So although I could have moved out of my dad's house sooner than I did, when I in like January, he needed a lot of money. So instead of me going out and buying a car, so that way I can move out, try to find some place to live, you know, I was giving my dad literally thousands of dollars to help pay for the bills. Not in 1 month, but over the course of a couple months, you know, I gave him some money.
That's admirable.
And it just is what it is. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do for your family, you know? So obviously I care about my little brother so much, and like it means a lot to me that, you know, my dad has always told me, like, something ever happened, like he's in a better mindset now that like if anything were to happen to my dad or my stepmom, he's like, I know my little brother's good because I'm gonna take care of him, and I absolutely definitely would always take care of my brother. I would never let him go to like a home, you know what I mean?
Right.
Never,
That's huge.
Never, ever. There would never be a chance. Never gonna let that happen. So I eventually. I had a girlfriend at the time. I actually ended up talking with her cousins, who were a little bit older, they're in their 40s, and they had a spare room at their house because they had kids before they moved out. and they didn't want much for me to move in. It was like $500 a month for me to live there. And I was like, yeah, because I still, the situation at my dad's house still wasn't very good. Money was tight, still arguments going on a lot. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I need to get out of here. I ended up buying a 2003 Honda Accord, my first car. Bought it for $2,000, cash, boom, done. Had it all paid out.
Solid vehicle.
Yeah. Dude, also that car, not gonna lie, bro, the engine of it was like brand new. I was so confused. Like it was literally like the engine must have blown in it or something. And then something happened where like they decided, you know what, this car is worth $2,000. I'm gonna put a new engine in it. I don't know why you would do it, but they literally put in, like the car had 180,000 miles, I think, on it. Yeah, yeah.
Because you were meant to have it. That's why I wound up. That's why I wound up with the engine. And it was meant to be your car.
Bro, the engine was wobbing, bro. The engine was wobbing. So
wobbing.
Let me tell you, the car was wobbling anytime I stopped at a red light because for some reason, bro, when I got going fast in that car, like I hit like 80, 90 miles an hour, bro. The steering wheel was like,
dude, super wobbing at that.
Dude, it was like shaking. I was like, what is going on here? So it was like shaking, and every time I stopped at a red light, it was like rumbling. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with this car, bro? The original Zirkmobile was not a good one. So I ended up moving in with my girlfriend's cousins at the time, and I had how many subs did I have at that time? Man, like I said, I think I had like 20K, and I moved in there, and then by the start of Madden 18, I hit 30K, and back in. It's actually coming up in like 3 days. I literally have the tweet bookmarked because I love looking back at it. I have the tweet book. I think it's coming up in like 3 days. And like 3 days from now, 3 years ago, I made the decision because I'd actually signed a coin deal with Rock Bottom. And I'm gonna go into this a little bit more. I'm not gonna talk about the details of the amount, whatever. But sure. I just want to say I got screwed, and it wasn't Rock Bottom's fault. It was I didn't expect to blow up like I did, and they just took advantage of the situation. It's simple. It's business. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I got big time screwed. And there's a lot of Madden YouTubers now that will come to me and I'll even reach out to some and be like, hey, you looking for a coin deal, whatever? Like you, Fend, if you ever decide like you want a coin deal, come to Madden YouTubers, some bigger guys, and ask them, how much should I look for? What kind of deal should I look to get? Because,
I appreciate that.
Dude, I missed out on a lot of money.
So they were paying you. It sounds like they were paying you for where you were at that specific moment, not where you wound up being for the duration of this deal that you had with them. It sounds like. Yeah,
absolutely. So it was a 1-year contract, and at that time, it actually doubled my income. At that time, it literally was exactly. So at that point, I had to take the deal, right?
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I was full-time YouTube, and I was pulling like 300K views a month, right, in July. And it literally doubled my income. And that's when I decided to go full-time YouTube. I tweeted out, I was going full-time. No offense to anyone back then. And like even people reached out to me right now and been like, I was just looking out for you. It is what it is. Because I said, at that time, I'm like, I don't even need to go to college anymore. I'm like, what's the point of me going to college? I got to pay all this money. I wanted to go for accounting. I'm like, I'm not even going to do it anymore.
Yeah, makes sense.
When I tweeted that out, though, people were looking at my views. They're like, I had like 2K views a vid, 3K views a vid. They're like, you sure you want to go to college? Like, you don't want to go to college and this is what you're going to do? Because they just didn't understand it. I completely understand. But at that time, it was like, there was no point in me going anyways. Yeah. When August hit, I went from 300K views to 1.7 million views. Boom. And I never had less than 1 million views any month of that Madden, which was Madden 19. Madden 19 at this point.
Rock Bottom hit a lick, bro. They hit a lick. Holy French toast. Are you kidding me?
Listen, bro.
Goodness.
I got hit next year, too. But we'll get to that. Okay. I went from 300K views to 1.7 million views. I could have easily gotten triple the amount that I got in my coin sponsor deal. Definitely could have gotten like triple what I got. So again, it's not their fault. It's not my fault. At that time, it was a deal that I had to take. My string's good. It was a deal that I had to take. So, I wasn't too mad at it. But it was a big year. I didn't hit 100K yet. That was the next year. Went through the year, had a really good year, a lot of growth that year. And then came around, it was, what month was it? May. I bought my first house in May. So at that point, you know, I wanted to. It wasn't anything against the people I live with. They were awesome, so grateful for them. You know, I even left them a little thank you with, you know, an envelope full of some stacks because they so awesome, man.
That's so
the
dope.
Stuff they did for me there.
Super
so
dope.
Started looking for a house, and I ended up finding a house that I could get, and that was the first Zirk house. So when I was 19, I bought the first house. And then I've always wanted, because my dad, when I was younger, was such a big Mustang guy, bro. Like, I loved Mustangs. Yeah. So I've always wanted a Mustang. So when I moved out and I moved into my first house, I still had my Honda. And I was like, I can't be pulling up to my house in a 2003 Honda Accord, man. I'm like, I gotta do what I want, bro. I gotta do what I want. So I went out and I got the 2017 Mustang GT. And I was so hyped, dude. Yeah. I was so hyped, man. I loved it. It was such a fun car. You know, I just love it, man. If there's a car out there that you guys really want, make sure you're financially good for it.
Right.
But set your goals and like know your goals, man. Like, I'm a big goal person. I always work towards things that I want, man.
And just to be fair to the audience, if you're not willing to work full time at Burger King in 2 different states while you're chasing the bag, chasing your dream, maybe just leave the car for now. I had to call that out, bro, because I mean, I know it's just part of your story, so it's probably stuff you think about regularly, but you know, I see a lot of the people that spend time in the chat with me every day. That's fucking remarkable. I'm sure you know that now, kind of in hindsight, but how early that work ethic started was pretty wild. And so new house, you needed some new ornament in the driveway. You couldn't have the Accord, and you got him. And now you're starting to make it, dude. Now like it's coming together. Must have felt great to buy the car. But go on, bro. Sorry I interrupted.
No, absolutely, yeah. You made a great point there. So yeah, I mean, I got the Mustang, and to be honest with you, financially, it was probably a really stupid. Vose, Megamind, what are you doing in the chat, bro?
Vose needs to go elsewhere, bro.
I know, bro. I know. The big ass head. He just wants to be in every conversation. Someone timed him out.
That was me. He can fucking sit. He could sit in the corner for 10 minutes, bro. My man thinks he's at the adults table. He still eats the mac and cheese. It's at the kiddie table, bro. You're not at the bar top yet, young Vose.
That is tough, bro.
Unfucking believable. Anyway.
That's tough, Vose. Use that big head next time. So, I love that. Fellow Cowboys fan. It's cool. He's a cool kid. He's young. He's learning. He's maturing. You know, he'll get there.
I know.
And the chat's going crazy. That's crazy. All I can think about is that big head of his, right? That forehead is so red right now.
It's so distracting. It's so distracting.
He's steaming. Okay, so financially, it probably wasn't the smartest decision, to be honest with you, because taxes are bad for YouTubers specifically.
Oh, the way that you gotta pay those at the end of the year, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. And people don't understand that with like YouTubers, we get checks and there's no taxes withheld from them, right? So I get my coin sponsor payment. I get my I get my YouTube check, whatever. None of it is, there's no taxes taken out of it. So you got to be prepared for tax at the end of the year. I was not prepared for taxes at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I didn't fully understand.
Right.
Tax system, definitely on me. Probably on the school system for not teaching taxes, honestly.
I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, again, another thing I try to tell people about, all the different tax write-offs, everything like that. Toke and I actually use the same accountant. So I think that's pretty sweet. Toke actually hooked me up. Again, big shout out to Toke, bro. Goat. The accountant is freaking awesome. The accountant saves me a ton of money. There's so much stuff. Like I can talk to you off camera more in specific if there's like stuff you want to learn. Like that entire room of yours, tax it off.
Yeah. For real?
The square footage. So like your mortgage or your rent, whatever. Yeah. The square footage of that room, if you have like a bathroom attached to it too, all that tax right off your mortgage. Whatever square footage of that, take that percentage off your rent and your mortgage, boom.
Okay, we might be dancing here, Zirk. Okay, yeah. I'm seeing some more conversations that need to be had. So you had to learn this though the hard way. It sounds like you weren't necessarily, and that's it. So your first year, making a couple bucks, that must have been pretty painful, huh?
It was pretty bad, and in general, I put myself in a tough situation even getting the Mustang because I was like, it's June, July, and this is the first time that I had really encountered, after having such a good year, the first time I'd actually encountered the slow season of June and July, and it hit me. I was like, dang, I'm like, I'm losing subs. Like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? And at that point, like, mentally, that messes with you so bad. Like, there are so many YouTubers I know. Like, now after going through it for a couple years, I understand it. I'm like, whatever. You know, I'm losing. I actually have a plan, probably like the last day of this month or like the first day of August. I'm going to screenshot it, my stats for the month, and tweet it out and be like, listen, guys, not every month is a good month. Like, I've literally lost like 500 subs overall for this month. You know what I mean? And that happens every year. And the views are low, the subs, and I'll be like, I'll be back in a month. I literally have this plan. I'm going to tweet that and be like, I'll be back in a month. At the end of August, I'll quote tweet it and be like, listen,
this is what
things get better. Like, keep grinding, keep pushing through those terrible months because it is bad right now. All Madden YouTubers are feeling it. Everything is really bad. So I was kind of panicking in June, July. I'm not going to be able to pay taxes. I'm like, I am screwed. Luckily, again, I signed another coin deal with Rock Bottom. I was with them again for another year. Unfortunately so. I got screwed again. Oh, no. And this is why, again, I tell people this. To please talk to the YouTubers and just know. And one thing that I'm just going to let you know, I tell a lot of YouTubers right now is like that first year of Madden, or like that first month of like the new game, don't sign a coin deal. Don't. Because if you have a blow-up month, you can get like double. So I went from 1.7 million views in August of 2019 to last year in 2018 to 2019. I getting this right? No. My years are messed up here. Yes. No. I can't think, dude. 2019 of August, I had 3 million views. Okay. So I signed a deal that would pay me right for 1.7 million views. And then boom, I went up to 3 million views a month. So again,
bro.
I could have got like double, bro. So dude, listen, when I think about how much money I missed out on, it pains me. You couldn't have known. Pains me. Like, I couldn't have known. You did. I really couldn't have known, bro.
At every juncture, you know what I mean? Like, you made given the information you had access to, it sounds like you made the right call. Like at every part of this, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, at that time, it was the right deal because that time I signed that coin deal, and I think your volume is a little low, Fen.
Got it. Yeah. I just cleaned it up.
There you go.
Thanks,
chat was doing it.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Thanks, boys. I got a bunch of audio-visual experts in the channel. At least once per one of these interviews, my camera dips or my USBs all are like, nah, fuck you, Fen. And so I had to reset the camera. I'm doing it here. All right, we're all set. Screaming. Yeah, look at Mastermind needs to sit in the corner for another 10 minutes, I think. Okay.
Look at Megamind. Look at Megamind.
Unfucking believable. So same thing. I mean, I don't know. Is it a blessing? It's certainly a blessing to go from whatever it was, 1.7 to 3 mil, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was incredible. Literally last year, I made more money this year just because of like the way that I branded and sponsorships and stuff. But like the jump, like the views were actually higher last year, which pains me to say because I'm one of those people. Like, I literally wouldn't care if last year I had in Madden 20, let's say I had 1.5 million views per month, okay? And then this year I had 1.7 million views. I would have been happier now than I am after having a down year because I just want to constantly improve. I don't care how much I improve. Right. Literally, I could pull 1,000 more views a month, and I'd be like, yes.
Still counts.
It's going up. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, getting down, that hurts, bro. I'm like, damn, like, what am I doing wrong? I feel like I'm doing better setup, all that. I'm like, you just gotta push through. But around the end of the year, I paid taxes. Damn, it hurt.
Yeah.
Damn, it hurt, dude. Luckily, I had a good accountant, but I was like, luckily things kicked up, had the coin sponsor deal, paid my taxes. I was good.
There you go.
I had a good enough year where I was like, thinking about, I know I just bought this house, and I'm like, I want to kind of get into a better house. Like, it's a decent house that I had, right? But I was like, I want to get into a better house. I want to get into, a nice neighborhood. I was like, I wasn't in a terrible neighborhood, whatever, but it was a decent neighborhood. But I wanted to get a little bit better. But at the time, my dad had still been renting out that same house. The same house that we originally moved into.
Okay.
And, he'd been calling me, talking to me, whatever. And he was saying, there's stuff going wrong at the house. Like, literally, bro, there is a hole in the wall behind the sink. And he's like, the landlord won't come out and fix it. Like, they literally won't come out and fix the hole in the wall. And I'm like, what? Like, dude. And the landlord's just, like, so bad. There was stuff they were doing before my dad even rented the place out. And I was like, they're paying, like, I think their rent was, like, $1,300 a month. And I was like, that place is terrible. I was like, that place is terrible. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna surprise my dad. I'm gonna buy them a house. I was like, instead of me upgrading my house, I'm like, forget that. They need to get in a better situation so they feel, like I said, money is like the number one stress. I'm like, screw that. I'm buying them a house. I don't need a house. I'm good. I'm buying them a house. So I talked to my dad and I tricked him. I was like, hey, I need your help. I'm looking into getting a rental property and I'm gonna rent it out to my friends so they can move down from New York. And he was like, okay, yeah, I'll come check out some houses, right? So we're going through houses. I'm looking at some places. He's like, yeah, this place pretty nice. But I could tell I was like, he probably wouldn't want this place. So
right.
It took us a couple weeks. We eventually find in a place. We found a house he liked, and I was like, we looked at it. I talked to the realtor, made an offer, got back to his house, and I'm like, hey, I just want to let y'all know, like, the house for you guys. I was like, it was pretty surreal moment, bro.
If you don't mind, this is like literally a moment that I think like anybody with parents who we love literally dreams about. If you would, bro, just like as he's understanding like what you did and what like kind of just happened, what was that moment like for you guys? I'm sure that's not a thing. It's something that you're gonna forget anytime soon.
Dude, it was crazy. It was a sigh of relief, definitely for them. I mean, going from paying all that rent to having a house and a much nicer house as well, and just living there, having everything they do. Like the one part of the house, especially because my dad's like my build, but add about 50 pounds of pure freaking muscle. My dad is swole. Okay, like my dad is jacked, dude. He's literally like he's jacked. So like he wanted a gym room, and I made sure the house that we got, there's a big extra part of the house where he's got like a huge, like he literally has a home gym better than gyms.
That's
like he's got like 12 pieces of equipment in it. It is crazy, dude.
That is so dope.
So yeah, that was definitely a surreal moment, bro. I was like, that's crazy that I'm allowed to do this, dude. Like literally, I was definitely had me in tears, bro. Like
that's the dream.
It's just something I've always wanted to do, like literally 15 years old, struggling since then. And my dad to this day can't work because number one, his back, but also number two, because my little brother. So he has to be there to watch him. And then my stepmom still works, whatever. So, that was a big moment, man. It was a big moment. And then, I didn't end up upgrading my house, but I was like, you know what? I can't upgrade the house. I was like, but I want to get a nicer car. I was like, I want to get a pretty nice car. So that's when I ended up getting the i8. So I got the i8, but instead of trading the Mustang, like I told you, my dad only had one car. They have a what is it, a Nissan Rogue, I think it is? They have like a Nissan Rogue. So my dad being a big Mustang guy and all, and like he was trapped at the house whenever my stepmom would go to work. I'm like, what happens if something happens to my little brother? They go to the hospital or something happens emergency. I'm like, so instead of trading the Mustang, I gave the Mustang to my dad. So my dad still has the Mustang that I bought back in 2019. So I gave the Mustang to him, so he has that in case anything ever happens.
Are y'all listening to this shit, chat? I mean, dead seriously, are you like really paying attention to this story, like beginning to end? Because bro, I'm telling you, Notepad should be out on some levels, dude. This is remarkable. This is exactly the perspective on you that I was hoping to get here. So now you got the gym room in a house that you feel much better about leaving your father in. He's the owner of the Mustang now too. You've done exactly, I think, again, like what anybody with parents who we love and love us would do, man. You looked out for the people who you were going home to, working at BK, trying to get a video out in the hour and 15 minutes you had between getting home from school and having to start walking again for your shifts. So remarkable. So I mean, he must have been hyped for the Mustang too, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, he loved the Mustangs. Like he actually had a 2012 Mustang. Was it back in 2012? It might have been like 2013, bro. I think it was like 2013 he had the 2012 Mustang, and he had actually brought that up to New York. When we lived in New York, he had that Mustang, which Mustang in snow is terrible.
Yeah,
like, it's so bad.
Real
so, like,
they had that.
Yeah, it was bad. They had that, and they actually had a Nissan Rogue before as well, that they brought up the Rogue, they brought up the Mustang, but back in New York, as things got worse, my dad had to sell the Mustang. And then they actually had to sell the Rogue. They sold the Rogue and the Mustang, and they bought an old Ford Explorer from my grandma. So they actually bought Ford Explorer off my grandma and traded in both the cars because money was tight. We couldn't really afford them anymore.
Sure, yeah.
So I know my dad had missed the Mustang. So I knew that he would love it. And before I even went to get the i8, I actually put an exhaust on the Mustang. I put a Borla Attack exhaust on the Mustang. It was for me, but I know he would have liked it too. And I kind of already had the plans back in my head, like, I'm going to get a new car. Yeah. I'm going to give this to him. Right. So he still loves that car. And he doesn't really drive all that much anyways. But yeah, he definitely loves that car, man.
So legendary. And that was kind of recent, right? Or we can. So this is now. I guess you left us off round. We're August, like late 2019. So we're playing Madden 20 at this point, I think, right?
Yep. Yeah. Well. Actually, when I gave him the Mustang and I bought the A was last year, in July.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Was it June? It was no. Yeah, it was end of July because I remember it literally took me like 3 weeks because I had called around to like 12 BMW dealers throughout all of Florida, bro. I called out to every BMW. I was like, listen, I want a BMW i8, and it's got to be white. And it took them like 3 weeks to give me one. It took them literally like 3 weeks to give me the i8. So I got that. Madden 21 punched us all in the mouth.
A little bit. That's what I keep hearing from you guys.
Mouth, bro.
Everything was down a little bit.
It was so bad. Oh, it was bad. It was really, really bad. So I had signed a coin deal, and I didn't get screwed on it. I'll tell you that much. I didn't get screwed. I got my worth eventually because I was like, you know what? Last 2 years, I've been getting demolished. So I signed a coin deal with Rock Bottom that would pay me for the growth that I even expected. And I was like, okay, this is going to be good, right? Then August happened. There was like no content for like 2 weeks. Sales weren't very high for any site in general. And then talks happened between me and Rock Bottom. And there was stuff that happened. I was like, I'm going to walk away from the deal. I was like, I'm going to walk away because at that point, I can't go into specifics because of, you know, contracts. And I can't go into contract. I can't go into specifics of it.
Of course.
We broke off the deal, essentially. Okay. So that's all I can say about it. We broke off the deal. And then I ended up signing a new deal. And it was a good deal. It was more than I had ever gotten before. It was less than I had originally signed for in August. Just because, views are down. What's going on? Where's the content? I ended up signing the deal. We were good there. It was definitely a weird year. Like I said, last year, I had 3 million views a month. This year, I had 1 month with 3 million views exactly. That was in December. Every month since then was a little bit over 2 million, right? So I was still doing good. I was still paying the bills, whatever. But again, man, it's not even about the money. It's literally about getting, like, it's not just a number. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man, I didn't make 3 million views. It's like, I'm regressing. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, I'm working harder than ever.
It's a direction question for you.
Yes, man. I'm like, man, like, it's literally not even about the money, bro. Like I said, I would rather have went from 1.5 million views to 2 million views than go from 3 to 2. You know what I'm saying? It's literally about what's going on. Why am I getting less views now and I'm doing more? I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. So I just kind of rolled with it, went through the year, and yeah, I just kind of rolled with it throughout the year, and then I finally decided, you know, I want to move. So that's when I bought this place.
And that's where you're reporting live from now.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Dude, so you've alluded a couple times to like how you kind of have to like persist through like the ebbs and flows, and but we touch on mental health in the channel frequently, and especially mental health in young men, and of course young women too, but just based on the demographic that we have the most access to, I think we get to communicate more so with young men than young women. Have you like developed any best practices as far as, you know, maintaining this forward momentum that you have now? Did it kind of come naturally to you? I mean, also, you know, kids that grew up in situations like you did, I can sympathize with so much of what you were talking about earlier as far as like family perspective. Even your father with the herniated disc that took him out of work. I mean, literally it's like you were telling my story. I had the injuries. I didn't get the surgery because we've learned from guys like your father that like the surgery actually doesn't usually go well with men that are younger than like 60. So shoot, man, I suppose I owe him some thanks. But I guess I say all that to say, have you like identified any ways that you personally are able to manage your mental health in terms of, there's so much comparison all the time, and like where my views were at now compared to where they were. And you talk about the trajectory, and better to go from 1.5 to 2 than 3 to 2. And I totally get what you're saying there. Have you been able to, like I said, best practices for keeping your head on straight with this stuff?
You've definitely got to find an escape from it, because a lot of the times I get so caught up in work, and it's more than just doing the videos, because a lot of people think it's just, you record. How hard can YouTube be? Right. There's so much more detail that goes into it. It's very, very hard to kind of disconnect. And one thing that I really, really try to do, and I honestly I like doing it a lot. Mm-hmm. It's not an escape, because it still is work, but I love being a goofball, like on Twitter and stuff, just doing stupid stuff, bro. I do it all the time on purpose. Like, I'll literally tweet out some stupid stuff, or, just playing Xbox with friends. A lot of, I'm really, really good at Call of Duty. Like, I'm better at COD. Yeah. I'm better at COD than I'm Madden, but I just won't do videos on it, because I want to have something that disconnects me. Like, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. I'm trying to reply to my DM. My DMs are literally open on Twitter. So I would try to reply to as many DMs I possibly can.
Super dope.
And obviously with that, slower time of Madden, it really gets to a lot of guys. It really, really messes with us, a ton. A big thing for me, and this is why I like to have nicer cars, is I like driving. Literally driving. I love driving. So driving for me is a big disconnect there. I feel like in our work especially, you've got to take a vacation, not necessarily stop uploading vids, because to be honest with you, when I do videos, and the reason why my streak is still going, and why I just refuse to let it go, it isn't because, I can't let the streak go. I wake up every single day and I'm like, what am I doing with this day? I'm like, I gotta strive to get better, to get more subs, to get more views. And it's not necessarily about the subs or views, but just in general, if I don't post today, there's people out there who are not going to have a video for me. They look forward to the video. I'm like, people expect the video. I'm letting people down. There's people that expect it. I'm like, where would I be without doing videos every single day? I feel like that's a big reason why I've grown in the algorithm as well. I'm like, I need to be grinding every single day. Totally. Need to get those vids done. Every day is a new day. Don't let it go to waste. I truly believe that. That's just why I work literally 7 days a week. But when you go on those vacations, whatever, I'm going to be honest, I hate cruises, because I didn't have internet access on a cruise that I went on 2 years ago. Bro, I was stressing. I was literally stressing on a cruise to Mexico. I am stressed out. I'm like, dude, I can't see my vids. I'm like, I pre-record vids. I'm like, I can't see my comments. I can't interact with my fans, bro. I was like, oh my God. That's terrible. To be stressing on a cruise, bro. So at that time, my mental was so bad, because I was just I was trying to make it on YouTube at that point. I'm like, dude, I gotta stay focused with this. You really got to have a disconnect of some sort, whether it be going out with your friends, playing Xbox, driving, taking vacations, doing stuff. You really, really got to have it. I just went to Vegas a couple of weeks ago, and that was the first time I've ever went on vacation, and I was like, I didn't stress at all about the vids, because I knew it was going to be slow. Like I said, I've been through a couple years, man, where it's been slow, and I already knew it was going to start slowing down, but every day, I was just having a blast. I'm happy to say that my mental is definitely a lot better now than it was even last year, 2 years ago. You got to have a disconnect, man.
Bro, the Vegas trip looked, I don't know, man, it looked pretty lit. There, a lot of traction, a lot of action on the drip. Okay, I thought it was indeed drippy. I'm gonna ask you. I know where you lean here. Does Zirk drip harder than ScoMo?
Without a doubt. It's not even close. Wow. ScoMo also wears a size 3 shoe, so
tough. 3
tiny
shoe.
Feet. It definitely. I mean, I have a picture on Twitter. You can find it. Of ScoMo with a pair of shoes I bought for him. They're size 3, literally this big. I don't know.
He said tiny
little
feet. Bro, that's so hell. Not the feet.
I mean, I've definitely got more drip. He was coming at Tommy. I don't know what's wrong with the Tommy fit. I think it's fire still. Yeah, I'm still wearing Tommy. Yesterday I wore a Tommy shirt. I was dripping.
Hell yeah, right. The boys are also trying to ask, man. They've been highlighting this message since we fucking first booted this thing up. I feel like you need to, yeah, bro. Addison Rae's got it. I mean, she's dated some. Who is this latest dude that she stepped out with? Some fucking purple hair backup singer? What the fuck, dude? We got Zirksee, success, self-made success story, and you're dealing with the fucking purple hair backup guy to MGK. Bro. I mean, there ain't no way, right?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Listen, the second I got verified on TikTok, I was in them. I was in them DMs.
Expeditiously.
I was on the expeditiously in the comment section. So didn't work. Unfortunately,
so
no reply. Got verified on Twitter.
Also,
one of the first tweets at Addison Ray.
Had to.
Bro,
your boy Polo G, though, has been responding to a couple of your things now. That's also gotta be pretty cool. Like legitimate interaction with this dude.
I know. I don't even know why, but like, yeah, Polo. He doesn't follow me. That I would go crazy on the timeline.
That would be a big. That would be a big moment.
Like Zeke following me was crazy. Polo G following me, I'd probably do a backflip on the timeline, bro. Like I'd be going nuts. I'd be shotgunning trees.
You got that Zirk follow? Sorry,
the
Zeke
follow? Yeah. Yep. Got the Zeke follow.
That goes pretty nuts, bro. That goes pretty nuts. Sorry, go ahead.
It's crazy. It was definitely pretty crazy that Polo has been interacting. Like 2 days ago, he replied to a tweet, and I was like, damn. He doesn't follow me, but his artist, who's actually from New York, Syracuse, Scory, he actually follows me on Twitter, which I was like, okay. I was like, that's lit. That's
super lit. I feel like Zirk can be trusted with a verified Twitter account. Mega Minds cannot be fucking trusted with a verified Twitter account, bro. I feel like you're doing great things out here, and Vo's just out here arguing with 49er and being mean when he can. I answered a question on Twitter the other, like somebody was like, "What's a good protein powder?" And I used to be in personal training, so I wrote a couple notes. It wound up being like a longer response. And here comes checkmark Vo's with his big ass forehead.
Ratio.
He's going nerd. I'm like, bro, are we serious? I literally answered a question that was nerd. Oh my god. That's why this guy cannot be trusted. What was it like linking with CC and ScoMo IRL? Because I know we got some like photos and stuff of that too. Little YouTube house getting together. That must have been a dope time. Was that fun for you guys?
Dude, that was awesome. Yeah, I actually had Poodle, who's a smaller man YouTuber, but like Poodle helped me a lot when I actually bought my house. That's when I decided to upgrade my setup. So he told me what camera to get. Like, that's another thing, bro. Is like when you're if you have a bigger platform, you're a bigger YouTuber, whatever, you can still talk to like dudes who are less popping than you, whatever, get advice from them. Like people are have expertise in different things. Like I'm not good with like cameras or lighting, whatever. Poodle helped me a lot with that. You know, he told me what camera to buy. He told me what lighting to get. And I actually, this camera you see me on right now is a new camera. And shout out to Kenny Games. He's super. I think he's gonna have a crazy year this year. Dude's amazing at edits. He told me what camera to get here. Like those guys are awesome. But Poodle was with me and met CC, met ScoMo. ScoMo's a solid 5'2". It was pretty awesome. I mean, it was sweet. We actually did quite a few things.
Are you taller than ScoMo? Are you taller than ScoMo?
Yeah, by like 6 inches. Yeah.
Damn, Mo.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So violence then in the channel for young Zirk.
Yeah, it was definitely awesome. I've never been to Georgia before, so that was pretty cool to go to Georgia. ScoMo was trying to convince me to buy a house near him because I told him that I was potentially looking to buy a house soon, and he was like, "Yeah, come live in Georgia," but couldn't move away from the fam. Gotta live somewhat close to my dad, so didn't want to do that there.
I think you wound up in the right spot, bro. Dude, Zirk, man, this is one of them interviews that I feel like I could go on like pretty much all day. I want to be respectful of your time. I know you made.
Oh, I'm good right now. I've got probably about 2 more hours to go. If you want to keep going that long, I got a bit of time.
Woo! Okay, I didn't know. Okay, because I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like infringing on your day. But yeah, bro, there's like certainly more I'm trying to talk about. When for you was the moment like, as your channel is building, you kicked over from, okay, this is cool, like, it's good supplementary income from Burger King, like, this is feeling good, I'm enjoying what I'm doing, over to I could buy my father a house and put him in a car and have, create the things that I want. Do you remember kind of the time that the mindset was starting to shift from doing this as something you enjoy to, obviously you still enjoy it now, but like, now we're really dancing here.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't buy my dad a house in like Madden 19, but definitely, well, yeah, actually it was Madden 19. So like Madden 18, I definitely couldn't buy my dad a house. I guess it would be Madden 19 then. When I signed that first like pretty decent sized coin deal that like doubled my income and everything like that. That was definitely pretty big. But I think like the big change for me, like, I always thought that was good. It was definitely probably last year in Madden 20. In Madden 20, you know, when I signed that coin deal, and I was like, all right, I got my value. And then, although I really didn't, because then my views doubled, whatever. I was like, right. But then my views doubled, and I was like, doubled income on YouTube too. Right. And then also, you know, I signed a deal with G Fuel, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, I love working with G Fuel. That's like, I literally got declined I got declined because I actually submitted an application to be sponsored by G Fuel, and like, I don't remember what year it was. It was probably like 6 months before they reached out to me to actually sponsor me, but I got declined, and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, you know, I get it. I'm not big enough yet, I guess, but signing with G Fuel was a huge moment for me because G Fuel works with all the biggest YouTubers. PewDiePie. They got PewDiePie, bro.
Yeah, that's insane.
So I was like, that was a huge moment for me when I was like, this is nuts. You know, they work with PewDiePie, they work with KSI, they work with like everybody, man. So getting a deal with them was so big for me because I, you know, when I was younger, watched a lot of COD videos, watched a lot of FaZe. Obviously, all of them are sponsored by G Fuel, and I was like, this is just, it's nuts for me. And getting sponsored by G Fuel, like, it's awesome. I love it. But also, it's a big brand moment because when you're sponsored by a brand that big, when you reach out to other companies and they're like, oh, what companies you worked with in the past? I'm like, I'm currently sponsored by G Fuel, who works with PewDiePie.
They're like, say less.
Boom, deal done. Like, being with G Fuel more than anything is having that type of brand with you, with your brand, having that company with you and being like, yeah, I'm sponsored by G Fuel. You know, I worked with Elgato, worked with whoever else. It's more about the name. You know what I mean? Than anything else. More than the money that I get paid from them, whatever. It's more about literally having, I'm sponsored by G Fuel.
Yeah, it's that was shared brand recognition, I suppose. And so it sounds like the coin sponsorships was a big deal for you. Not they got bigger, the deals did, literally speaking, but this has come up in all the conversations, you know, ScoMo and CC and Popular Stranger kind of rode a little bit different of a path as far as this goes. It seems like all's well that ends well. So it seems like you walked exactly the path that you were meant to walk, and, you know, sitting here now, I'm sure you're grateful for the whole thing. But, you know, with the ears of, you know, someone like me, like a smaller audience that, you know, looking to do a lot of the same things that you've done as far as being successful, or someone building their stream in their community, we're kind of faced with, there's like a moment where you kind of have to almost pick, like, are you going to be cool with EA and kind of maintain the ability to have opportunities with them? There's the secondary question of, is it worth it? ScoMo made a great point. It's like you got to kind of take the money as it's available. So I think there's a lot to be said for that too. But from where you're at now, you know, keeping in mind that the coin sponsorship stuff went very well for you, would you lend any advice to a growing streamer as far as the things that they can consider, whether the coin thing is the right move, or do you feel like you missed out on any like EA specific opportunities because you were coin sponsored? Like, do you have any thoughts on that subject?
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to, should you take a coin sponsor, should you try to follow the path and get in with EA, a big thing that I think about is, even if you are, let's say, a game changer, there are some pretty big Madden YouTubers that I talk to who are game changers, and they get left out of events. They don't. You're not guaranteed to get invited to every event that happens. You know what I mean?
Regardless, right?
One of the biggest thing that happens is like coin sponsor with being with EA is the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
A lot of times, you know, you get the Super Bowl tickets, whatever. But you could take a coin deal and buy yourself the Super Bowl tickets and have money left over.
That's a good point.
There's that part of it.
Yeah, true.
Now, also, you know, a huge thing with going with EA is their early gameplay, right? That's probably the biggest thing to me, I would say, because that's big for a channel to get those couple vids. But also this past year, I vividly remember, like, I think the Game Changers only got like a 2 days before EA Access, they started uploading vids. That was like it. That's all they got. They didn't get like a week. They didn't get like a week and a half. They didn't get 2 weeks, whatever, to have a ton of MUT, all that stuff. You know, they just don't get that much. I don't feel like it's worth it necessarily to do that. There's been some things that I think are so cool, like Anto. I remember Anto got to go and meet like Antonio Brown and do that for a bit. Like, that's awesome, dude. Like, that's awesome. They get to go to like those certain events, whatever. But I think it really comes down to your situation. Like, for me, I literally took a coin deal and ruined potential relationship with EA for $100. And to me, that was worth it because the situation I was in, I was like, I need the money.
Yeah.
To me,
EA
also
wasn't paying
like
you $100.
exactly, they weren't going to do anything for me. I didn't even have 1,000 subs at the time. I'm like,
Right.
I'm not going to be a top guy and be with them. And then you see some guys who were at the top of the chain, like Hoke, for example, who works with EA. He now has a coin deal. I think it will, partially because he has a family now. I think he probably wanted to take the extra money to make sure that he was going to be good there.
For sure.
And I don't blame him at all for doing that. I think the EA does have a lot of opportunities that you can do, like with NFL players, with having the Super Bowl experience. I think that is awesome that they do that. And I really like that they came out this year with the codes. The creator codes. I don't think they gave it to enough people, though. I'm going to be honest. I have nothing against people they gave it to. Big props to all those guys they gave it to. It was like Chewy, Popular Stranger. They gave it to... Oh, man.
Pop was the only one I knew, to be totally frank and honest about it. Shout out to all those guys. Yeah, certainly zero disrespect, but Pop is just the only one that I knew about.
They gave it to my guy Chaos, who I actually work with on Hot Rod Tips.
Dope.
Man. Oh, I feel bad if I can't remember everyone who's actually on this.
McCullough says, good game, bro. Yeah, Noah says,
good game, bro. Yup, good game, bro. There might be somebody else. Is IMAV? I didn't know if IMAV actually got it. I thought he didn't. But maybe IMAV actually did as well.
Right.
But, I think that's awesome that they did that. I think they need to give it to more people, though. And I think that they need to get to more people. And I thought it was awesome. It made me think, like, man, maybe that could be something that I look into in the future, but I'm just not sure if it's worth it. The money that you can make off of that. Yes, you get the money, then you get the EA relationships, but also, like, if they added in to where if you enter in a code and it gave you, like, an extra 2% off of packs, right? People would be more inclined to do it, and then I would really have to think about it. I'd be like, I'd really have to think about potentially going with a creator code, if it was even possible for someone in my situation, having the coin deal, walking away from a coin deal, how long would you have to wait, whatever.
Right.
I think it really comes down to your situation and how much money you're being offered, all that.
True indeed.
To me, at this time, I think it's worth it to take the coin deal. I mean, I've even talked to EA guys, and they said they don't blame us at all. They literally do not blame us at all for taking the coin deal. Simple as that. They just don't, because they understand we have families, we have bills to take care of. I got my parents to take care of. For sure. I got my grandma to. Anytime my grandma needs help, I help her out as much as I can. You got to do what you got to do. It just comes down to your situation, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. The saying is a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Like, if money's on the table, it's like, think about the future and what could happen with EA. And yeah, like, maybe it could fall into some cool experiences. And like, I'm still at a point where I'm kind of like, lucky enough to be a part of the Madden Live schedule. That's great. Good for exposure in the channel. Good for, to host these big events. But, to your point, they're also not paying you. It was worth not giving up. It was worth taking the coin route for you over $100, because that was $100 more than EA was spending on you at that time. So that makes a lot of sense. And our boy Toke, not my boy, shout to Toke, a legend, respect him. Your boy Toke has come up in our conversation a few times today as one of your inspirations, bro. What did you think about this situation with his YouTube? That's got to be like literally a nightmare for a guy like you. What was your experience with the thing? I had to see it. I went on the channel when it was mid hijacking whatever bot account was on there streaming some Ethereum Bitcoin type shit. But I mean, what an absolute, it seems that all's well that ends well. I haven't checked up on it recently, but he seems like he's going to be okay. But was that shit terrifying to you?
Oh my God. That's so scary to think about, dude. That's like your whole career. Now, luckily, YouTube got his channel back, all that. And I think that if anything were to happen, again, in the Madden community, I think we're a big enough community to get people's attention, like Keem, who reached out to Toke and said he would send it to his guys. Dude, that was dope. Awesome. That Keem started, dude. That was so sweet, man.
Yeah.
I think that if anything happens, you're more than likely going to get your channel back. I remember Mike Mack. It happened to him a couple years ago with Mike Mack, and he ended up getting it back as well.
That's good.
I'm very, like, every single site that I use, I have a different password.
That's crazy.
Dead ass. Like, that's literally, wild. I have like 50 different passwords. I never use the same password on any site ever. I have two-factor authentication on everything. But it's not, don't use the SMS, use the authenticator app. I literally couldn't say the word. Use the app.
That's the first time I've heard that, actually. I've been using the SMS, maybe not the move.
the SMS is actually can also get hacked. There's a way to do that where they can get their SIM card. They can get your SIM card transferred onto their phone with the authentication app. Gotta have my phone.
Yeah,
you gotta have the phone. And also, Eric Rayweather tweeted out about
the keys. That was the next thing I was gonna ask you about. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. I'm also getting those. Those are okay.
Lit.
Yeah, so you gotta be safe.
Bro, super lockdown, crazy. Yeah, that was terrifying. So you got the keys for yourself, like made a slight adjustment there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I'm very, very cautious with everything. Backup counts on most stuff as well. So like, let's say someone ended up getting my phone, right? I'm good still. I have literally backup codes written down, secret places.
Right.
You know, I'm like extremely cautious about like, this is my career. This is how I support my family. You got to be safe about it, dude. You have to be.
When it's your livelihood, you got to take it to that next level for sure. What else did I have written down? Oh yeah, on the note of coins, auction house, kind of looking forward to Madden 22. A guy like you, who a lot of content is, how we can be generating coins, how we can make currency, like putting us on to everything that we need to know. Announced some changes to the auction house process, I guess. Right, they're going to give us. Pretty much it seems like all the information that was available on the app is now going to be available on the console. So like for us app demons, like I don't know if it makes a huge difference, but I'm curious what you think about, do you think these, the range, establishing ranges off the median and kind of the information that they've rolled out about the changes they're going to make to the auction house, do you think that will handcuff you and us as far as the ability to make coins, or do you think it won't make so much of a difference?
I think there's still going to be people that mess up and throw cards up for less than they're supposed to be. So I do think there's still going to be snipes. There definitely won't be as many. And we still don't know exactly what the range percentage is, right? So if your card's median price is 200K, how much more can you list it up for? Like, can you list it up for, is it 100%? Is it going to be specific overalls have different percentage ranges? I think that's something they could do. So like 70 to 79 overall, right? You can't make the percentage range 50%. So what if a card's 2K, you can only list it for 3K?
Yeah, it don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. So that, I think that what they could do is do like 80 to 85s. Percentage range, I don't know, 100% at max, I would think that they would let you do the median price for. It's going to be really interesting to see about that. I know a lot of people have questions about like point selling, stuff like that. Is that gonna be an issue? The ways that I've thought about it is, number one, this is in like FIFA and stuff. So coin sites know about this. Like,
that's what I've heard.
Know how to get
a lot of guys
this,
say that. I mean? Yeah, right.
If anything, I actually feel like this means less bans. Because if you post a card within the range that EA has set, right? Let's say you buy a card for 100K, you buy 100,000 coins, right? I think the only difference in coin selling is going to be you need coins to buy coins now. Because you can't just buy a silver card and list it for $1 million. You're going to need to buy an 85 and list it for double its price to make whatever amount of coinage there. I think this means less bans, though, because if you literally sell a card for within the range that EA has set, how are you going to get banned?
What can they say to you?
It's literally the range that they have limited.
Right.
It is literally the range that they have limited. So it's going to be two things. You're going to need, well, three things, really. There should be less bans, I'd imagine. You're going to need to have coins to buy coins, and then as well, you're going to have to list multiple cards. So let's say you want to buy like 1 million coins. You're going to have to buy a couple 100,000 coin cards and list them up for 200K, stuff like that. Right. Now, there could be, quick sell LTDs. Could be that way again, which was a way around it a couple years ago. People would trade the quick sell LTDs, but I don't think EA is going to do that.
Right.
I think they'll still make it the same way where you can't, trade them, quick sell them, whatever. And then with buying like the LTs off the auction house, that's going to be interesting to see as well how they do that. How are they going to get that done? It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting, and kind of just like on the note of the direction of the game as a whole. Are you? Of course, I mean, somebody in your shoes, you're going to be super hyped for Madden 22, no matter what the thing looks like. But as far as like the information we're getting, it looks like the comp scene is going to happen on next gen. I don't know when they're going to start calling it just current gen, but on like next gen systems. I know I've seen a couple tweets of yours that like if it looks as bad in your gauge as it did, you might consider going back to current gen. Are you excited about the direction and kind of the move to next gen, or do you think we're a little early on that? Like, are you excited or a little nervous about parts of this next game coming up here?
I'm I'm excited, but also a little nervous about it because I feel like with Madden 21 being a down year, a lot of us YouTubers have questions. Is it going to be another down year? Is it going to get worse? Is it going to stay the same? Is it going to be another up year? Is it actually going to, progress up instead of going back down? Right. The gameplay itself, like, I'm definitely going to start on next gen. I'm going to try to do gameplays on it. But the big thing with, like, Madden 21 next gen is people hated seeing next gen gameplay because no one wants to see a running back gameplay where the dude's running 2 miles an hour. Like, you're not going anywhere. It takes 3 seconds to hit the hole. Right. So it's terrible. I hope it's not like that. I played the beta. It was slightly faster. I kind of liked it. I mean, obviously, there's always issues with the beta. Right. I didn't mind the gameplay. I think it would be better if it did get slightly faster. I think current gen for Madden 22 is going to be literally the same thing as Madden 21 current gen. They're not making many adjustments to it. They are focused on next gen, which... It's very odd how they're doing it like that because at the same time, it makes sense. Then work on the next gen stuff. What percentage of people have a next gen console? Not also many.
Good point, right?
Not many people.
They're really hard to track down.
It's so hard. You have to pay resale. You got to pay $700-800 to get an Xbox instead of the $500. Like they are definitely they are focused 100% on next gen gameplay and stuff like that. I think that it's going to be an interesting year to see what the gameplay is. I definitely think that Madden 21 gameplay, at least current gen anyways, was better than Madden 20. And I think a lot of that has to do with running the football so bad in Madden 20. Like, it was so... You could lose to a complete bum in Madden 20 because they would come out and just run. Eric Dickerson. Run. Nothing you could do about it. And it was the most frustrating thing ever, bro. It was the most frustrating thing ever. So I like that Madden 21. It's more of a pass-heavy game. But EA, they loved Madden. And Madden 20, the gameplay was not as fun for us people who are not as casual player. But the noobs who come on in Madden 20, they loved it. That's why it was such a good year for YouTube.
Totally.
Because anyone can win a game. Anybody can win a game. You can get no defensive stops, right? I could get hit and throw out a sack, pick. They take the pick, then they're running. And if they don't fumble, it's over for you. You can lose to a bum who's just running the ball and you get a throw at a sack pick, man. It's terrible. So EA loved it because they want the casual players to feel like they have a chance. And maybe that is something that kind of stopped Madden 21's momentum and kind of made it a down year for us was it was more of a passive game. If you're not good at the game, you can't pass the ball.
Right.
So I think Madden 22, we're going to see how it is, especially on next gen with running the football. I think running is going to be a little bit better than it was in Madden 21, which is kind of like why the movement system, I think they decided to up it a little bit more, whatever. I think someone like Derrick Henry, like those big trucking backs on Madden 22 next gen are going to be just insane. They're going to be nuts, bro. It's going to be nuts.
I think it's going to be pretty nuts. So you alluded to while you were talking to us just then about kind of the idea that 21 might not have been quite as popular because it wasn't quite such like a noob friendly game. And I'm wondering if you could expand on your thoughts on that as far as like looking at 20 and also, a question that keeps coming up in these interviews just because of us all living through this time together is like kind of what COVID did like to our lives collectively. Do you think that COVID played into the success of Madden 20 and B, now that things are like kind of back to normal, I know it's just a guess, but you noticed that 21 was a little bit down of a year. You had the COVID thing that was like kind of mid Madden 20-ish. A multi-part question, just kind of like your thoughts on that. And also, like, what do you think Madden 22 is going to be an up year? Do you think it's going to look more like Madden 20 or do you think it's going to be another down one like 21?
I expect an up year. Okay. I feel like the content was amazing in 21. Aside from the first like 2-3 weeks where we didn't have any content simply for the fact that everybody, like literally this is why, is because everybody was grinding out the MUT level solos and everybody had millions of coins in the first couple weeks because they would do it on 5 accounts. They'd have hundreds of thousands of coins on every single account from the MUT level solos. They were too easy to get done. And that's why for the rest of the year, the MUT level solos you saw weren't as good. Sometimes there wasn't even like a big reward at the end, simply for that fact. Definitely expect this year, the starting MUT level rewards, they are not going to be anywhere near as good. And that's just going to happen. That way they can actually push out content because that's why they didn't put out Superstar MVPs or Ultimate Kickoff, any of those promos at the beginning, because there was too many coins. Those cards have been too cheap, and it just would not have worked for them. And with Madden 20, the gameplay aspect of it being very noob friendly, like I said, it's just from running the ball. Like, just running the ball is just too easy. They had cards that were, I don't even understand how Eric Dickerson made it into the game with that X Factor. And then they waited so long to change it. Like, you know how hard it is to shoot a gap? You know how hard it is to shoot a gap here? And when you shoot the gap, you're like, oh, I'm going to get him. You hit him? He's like, no.
No, excuse me.
You got to have two people shoot gaps to stop him from being a tank, bro? It's terrible.
I love that card. God, I love that card so much.
Oh, it was the worst idea I've ever seen. It was such a bad idea. Then they changed it to where it was like the first 5 plays, which was better. Still bad. So, yeah, just very noob-friendly there.
For sure.
Like I said, throw it to sacks, too. Like, that could make a good player go crazy. Like, I take pride in this one here. I beat Joke, okay? He went 24-1 in Weekend League. Given he kicked the crap out of me because we literally we matched up the next game, and he demolished me. I don't even think I scored. But I didn't even record the video. I'm so dumb. I literally did not even record the Weekend League game because I was like, oh, I'm going to get destroyed.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm going to get destroyed. I didn't record. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get destroyed, whatever.
I'm shutting everything down, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. I'm not even recording. Don't matter to me. Myles Garrett, the Superstar MVP Myles Garrett had under pressure. He got an under pressure pick 6. So I came through with Myles Garrett.
Yep.
He didn't even get the sack. He just came close to him, under pressure, threw it to my guy, ran it back for a touchdown. That play won me the game.
Skill
that play
gap?
literally won me the game.
Skill gap?
No luck. No Zirk luck needed. No Zirk luck needed.
No,
literally, it was all... So stuff like that, I know I had to just make him so mad. And I could tell, like, when he tweeted out, he's like, I went 24-1, GG to Zirksee. I was like, oh, he's going to get clowned. I'm like, oh, people are going to be on his head.
I can't believe he posted that. I would have taken that to my grave. Not because it's you, just because, you know what I mean?
Like, no, because it is me. Because people know I'm not that good. So, like, I'm not even a top 100 Weekend League player. I'll get, like, I was close a couple times this year, but sure. I know my skill level. I'm not a terrible player. I'm not competitive in any way, shape, or form. I never could be.
Sure.
I play guys like, I played CC once this year, and it was a close game. I think he beat me by, like, a touchdown.
Nice.
It's a close game. I can compete somewhat, and I get super lucky. I might end up beating somebody if I get ridiculously lucky. I can only imagine the DMC got that day like, yo, you lost to a pack opener, bro. Like, you lost to a content game, bro. Come on, man.
He's out here on YouTube. You're out here going 24-1 in Weekend League, bro. What the fuck?
I know. It was funny, man. It was funny, but that's just stuff that could happen. Like, I'm sure competitive players probably lost games to people using Eric Dickerson that are terrible and couldn't get a stop to save their life on defense. But they just ended up getting lucky and winning the game, man. So it's bad. It's really bad. Madden 20 was with noobs being able to win it all. With Madden 21, though, it was a different game. Wasn't as easy for the noobs. I think that definitely hurt it. That's why I was down there a bit there. Also, the content being slow at the first month, I think that really hurt it. I feel like a lot of people picked up the game. They played it. There was nothing to do for 2 weeks. They dropped it, went back to Warzone.
Yeah, facts.
I feel like that literally hurt the game a lot. We probably lost 10% of our viewers from that 2 week span of no content, and they just never came back. I feel like that hurt a lot. So Madden 22, come out the gates, firing away. Mm-hmm. LTD drops opening night. I want them. Give me some LTD legends. Like that one year we had, I think it was Tony Gonzalez. We had Tony Gonzalez as an LTD, I think day one, and maybe like Ray Lewis or something like that. No, that sounds right. Urlacher. I think it was Urlacher, actually.
Okay.
Give us that. Give us Superstar MVPs. Give us Ultimate Kickoff at the beginning. And just keep it going, bro. There was so much content this year. They can keep it up in 22. Jesus Christ. Make Wildcard Wednesday better, though. I don't even do videos on, like, veterans after a couple weeks because they're just terrible.
They're not usable.
Please make it better, bro. Yeah. You got to keep the overalls up. Like, because that's just bad. And take out Sprinter. Dear God, take out Sprinter.
Okay, wait. Okay, give me a little bit more on that. Take out Sprinter completely. How come? You think that? Yes. You think it? Because then if you got the team chems, you got +4 speed. So
you're getting 94 speed. Fast.
Yeah, right. So you think we should kind of moderate the overalls as they roll out? We should go a little bit slower on that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, take out Sprinter out of the game. I think theme teams kind of need the speed because there's a lot of gaps in players' theme teams, especially at the beginning of the year. You got like a silver left guard
Right.
And I got John Randall at DT. He's about to just feast on you. You know what I mean?
It's gonna be bad.
Sprinter's terrible though. Like speed chems, probably like +1 speed. But I feel like at the end of the year, like even like at this point in the game, right? You need to have lower speed so that way when you drop a 99 speed Tyreek Hill, people are still using him to this day. You know what I mean? Yeah. Who uses Tyreek Hill now? There's no point. He had 99 speed months ago. So he's already at 99 speed. No one cares now. Now it's about, all right, every wide receiver gets 99 speed, or majority do. And it's looking at break tackle, run block, looking at juke, looking at all the extra stuff, route running, catching. What thresholds does he hit? That's what people are caring about now. So someone like Tyreek Hill, who in the NFL is, one of the most dynamic players, no one has him on their MUT team. No one cares. Unless you're a cheap team.
Yeah.
No one has him. So I feel like they should really make it to where even at the end of the year, like literally like right now, there should be like 5 wide receivers with 99 speed. Like that's it.
It makes the end game. It makes the end game more appealing too, because it's like I haven't, to maintain like a competitive team, I haven't had to make any changes or upgrades or additions. Really, I mean, it's probably months at this point. It's probably like 6 solid weeks since I've seen anything that's like that guy makes a big difference on my team. Because to your point, I mean, the overalls are rolled out and upgraded so quickly that by the time you get anywhere close to the end game, and then we wait on a punter to tip the 99 scale. That's like the last piece anyone needed, because other than that, you're all chemmed up. Everyone's playing at 99 speed, every single cornerback, every wide receiver. It don't matter. You got Derrick Henry at 99 speed just the same way as you got Barry Sanders at 99 speed, and it also shortens the, you get all your rocks off too quick, I suppose. We could make this end game a little more interesting by moderating the pace a little bit too there, I think.
Exactly. Like when new content comes out with these Ultimate Legends, whatever, who cares? We already have better players in the game.
Yeah.
Like these new cards that are dropping, they're not better than any of the cards. And like GTs this year were awful. There was a few good ones, like 99 speed. How many golden tickets got 99 speed this year?
Not a lot.
Like 2?
Yeah, not
like
a lot.
2?
Right.
And they really did they really did a lot of the GTs dirty. Like I helped with a couple of them, like specifically Derek Robertson. Derek Robertson was supposed to look like what Zadarius Smith looks like. Like he was supposed to have good block shit, good pass rush. He was hopefully gonna have around 90 zone, whatever. And like Jim Thorpe, cornerback. Oh my God, they didn't help that card at all with I think it was the zone, right? The zone couldn't get to 99?
No, correct. Yeah. He had 99 hit power, which was like pretty cool for a cornerback, if I'm not mistaken, but it's not everything it could be. You got a pretty unique and interesting situation that it sounds like you've been able to like upstream kind of some of the golden ticket conversations and been a part of what the final product is, again, without referencing any specifics. Will folks like kind of approach you like, yo, Zirk, pull the golden ticket, like what do you think I should do? Are you putting out feelers like I'll pay you $100 if you let me like be a part of this? Or are these guys like kind of seeking you out and you could be a part of building the GTs?
Yeah, people just really come to me and they say, hey, I got a golden ticket, I'm not sure what I should do. And I never tell people, do this player. Like I always tell them, okay, what do you want to do? Yeah. Now, and some of them will say, I want to make a card that's really good for the community. And I'll be like, okay. I'm like, I can tell you what players I think would be the best. Like, I'll give them like a list of like 10 players. And maybe they'll be like, oh, I'm a Cowboys fan. And I'll be like, okay, what position do you want? Like, you want a wide receiver? You want a running back? You want someone on defense? And if someone came to me, a Cowboys fan, and was like, yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan, I want to do someone on defense, that'd be a stud. I'd be like, Pat Watkins.
Yeah.
Pat Watkins. I'm like, Pat Watkins, who you need? Like, we need a Pat Watkins, because that would have been insane. A 6'5" user back there at free safety.
That would have been nuts.
Would have absolutely loved it. But I never tell people, like, do this specific player, which I think a lot of people that aren't in tune in the community think that, like, when people come to us as YouTubers, that we tell them, do this player. No, we don't ever do that. I don't think anybody does that. We tell them, if they tell us, hey, we want a glitchy player, we can give them advice. But for the most part, people come to me and have an idea of who they want to do. Like Derek Robertson, his cousin wanted to make that card. And he was like,
dope. I love that story, that it was like actually like meant something to the guy. Because like you said, like the rest of them were super underwhelmed. Like we didn't get the ones that you expect kind of to get every year in a positive way, like the ones that you want to see every year. And like the Roberson one didn't make any sense until I heard it was like, actually, that's just a family member of the dude. So I think that's love.
Yeah.
We also got our boy Durrenton Evans in the chat. Shout to It's Live. He's in the backfield there with Derrick Henry. He's like, he's trying to politic, man. I feel like we need to get an It's Live golden ticket out of the community next year, bro, I think.
We could try to get it done. We can definitely see if we can get it done. I'm surprised Trace McSorley didn't get one this year.
I'm really shocked.
Surprised no one did Trace, man.
I mean, we got like the troll golden ticket in James Morgan. I'm pretty sure Throne just. I'm gonna never mind. Yeah, I would like to know. I think he just straight up bought that golden ticket as the story goes.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't get any of like the good troll one. And there was a couple other like pretty funny names like that I was thinking maybe we would see just for like the sake of it being hilarious. Trace McSorley seemed like that seemed like an easy one that we missed on there.
Dude, I'm surprised we didn't get that. If I pulled a GT, I probably would have made either Pat Watkins, or I probably would make QB Ogden, to be honest with you. It would have been a meme one. Like, because the QB Ogden gameplay that I did was actually one of my most viewed gameplays for the year. And I was like, damn, I'm like, I need to make a GT of that dude.
Bro, I won 22 weekend I won 22 weekend games with Ogden at quarterback, bro. I was laughing as you were talking about the Madden 20 shitters, bro. I had to zoom in, and you were talking specifically about me, and I'm okay with that, bro. I can own that. I played O-line in college, so I came across my toting very honestly. But yeah, Trace McSorley, the Ogden one, I thought that was an easy one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple misses there, a couple opportunities we could have taken.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of surprised we didn't get like the normal ones. It was a lot of just. Right. And I think maybe that also kind of made people mad this year with GTs. We didn't get, like, especially the wide receivers.
Right.
Very underwhelming. Yeah. We didn't get Harold Carmichael. We didn't get Calvin. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got tight end Calvin. We didn't get Moss. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't get like where's the juice? Where's Vic?
I thought the 21s were great, like the M21. Like, you got Vic, Brian Dawkins, the safeties were great. Bo Jackson in the backfield. Yeah, I thought the Madden 20 golden tickets were like that's like what we're talking about there. Those are the ones you kind of expect to see. At least I have since then.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, the wide receivers especially just blew me away. Like, we got Jalen Reagor, Brandon. I mean, like, AJ Brown, I can kind of understand that, you know, a bigger name player, but like Jalen Reagor of all wide receivers, bro, like, come on, come on,
man.
Dude. If you're an Eagles fan, do Carmichael. Do Carmichael.
I mean, that's
like, that would have been crazy.
That would have been like house.
That card would have been so nuts. It probably been like 95 speed though, with the way EA is doing it. So.
Yeah, true indeed.
Whatever.
You touched on it earlier, Zirk, just on your feelings. Kind of, you said you got to spend a little bit of time on the beta. You said, yeah, it feels maybe a little bit faster than the next gen installment. Did you like really get? To be honest with you, I didn't play it all that much. I had access to it the whole time. The PlayStation matchmaking was down for so long, and then they finally let us know in the Madden Live cord that it was like, okay, like you should be good to go. And there was like 1 day left, and I was like, dude. So I feel like I kind of I don't know, like missed my chance to get hands on it. Did you really like tap in and spend some time on the beta? And did you have any other thoughts other than like, it looks like it's getting a little bit closer? Because to me, it felt like it kind of bridged the gap between current gen and next gen. It almost felt like kind of it was in between. But did you have any other thoughts as to like your experience with the beta?
It was definitely, I would say, like kind of in between, but a little bit slower than in between, I would say. I think it needs to be tuned and be even faster. I didn't get to play it as much as I wanted to because when it came out, actually was when I went to Vegas. Towards the end of it anyways, so I missed out on like the last like 3-4 days of the beta probably. So I didn't get to play it for like a ton. I did mess around and play head-to-head. Obviously, Tyreek Hill unstoppable in every single beta ever because deep zones never work. And that was terrible. They'll fix that before the game drops, or at least I hope
in the same way every year too. Like you said,
every year
every single beta, bro. You could just run a
every beta. It's like, oh, you got Tyreek, all right,
touchdown, boom, 6-2.
It was really weird. Something that was happening though in the beta was every time that I would throw a deep ball, it would be like overthrown, or it would look like it was gonna be overthrown, and then the wide receiver would actually catch up to it, and then it would be underthrown. Like the wide receiver would have to stop. I've never seen it before where like it literally looks overthrown, it ends up being underthrown. Weird. And it was every time I tried to throw the ball like 50 plus yards, literally every deep throw. It was so weird.
That is.
I definitely liked some of the changes that they made. Like I said, I didn't get to play it a ton, so I'm not an expert on it. But I do like the changes they made, like after the catch stuff that's going to be in the game. They've talked about having those taller wide receivers. You're going to actually get, like, if you have a 6'5" wide receiver, like they said in the blog they put out a couple of weeks ago, I think it was like a week and a half ago, whatever. If you have like a 6'5" wide receiver and you're facing 5'10" Ty Law, you're going to have those longer arms. You're going to be able to make some of those outreaching catches where like the corner's not going to be able to play it.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
tough.
really interested to see that. How is that going to work out? Because is that going to be like face catching from a couple Maddens ago? Is it going to be like aggressive catching just crazy? Like in Madden 16 where you, oh yeah, throw it up. Oh, 4th and 10.
Don't matter.
Calvin's over there.
Yep.
Bomb. Like, is it going to be like that, or is it just going to be once in a while you're going to get some interesting catches? And then they did mention like with the rack catches, you're going to be able to just really turn up the field a lot quicker, which I think is going to be really good. I'm interested to see how the gameplay works out. I definitely want to play the final version of the game, and I really hope they just increase speed a little bit more. I'm pretty upset the linebackers again feel pretty useless.
Yeah,
kind of sucks. Like because I liked using players like Kuechly, Shazier, Jalen Smith.
Sure.
You just can't. You can't waste the AP on Lurker to use him in a linebacker. Just use his safety, bro.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
So I mean, they also got some stuff drummed up for franchise. You know, the new additions. They seem to be placating the fix the franchise crowd. Shout to y'all boys. I know that's like never really been like where your content is focused at. When you look forward, kind of is like the direction that the channel is going to take for 22. Do you anticipate like incorporating any of that stuff, or do you kind of think you're going to stay with what's tried and true? Are you excited about the franchise, or neither here nor there for you?
I'm probably not going to do any franchise videos. I am happy, though, that they did make the changes to franchise because the uproar from the franchise community, I mean, it was trending number 2, I think, on Twitter. I think it was trending number 2 on Twitter. I mean, obviously, that's a big deal. Now, when people are that upset about the game, that also probably is another reason why YouTube was down this year. Just the negative energy around the game. Oh, they didn't do anything for franchise. Oh, I'm not even going to bother with the game. So people probably just didn't buy the game that year. They're like, whatever. Even if they are mud guys. Maybe they were like, EA doesn't even care about franchise, whatever. They don't care about the game. I'm not going to buy it. I love how many changes they did to franchise. I'm not a big franchise guy at all. I don't play franchise at all. I know people that do play franchise. But I love that EA actually took the initiative and did a lot of stuff they've been asking for. They have scouting coming and everything. Like, it does look like they really, really tried and they improved on it, which I like a lot. Because if they improve franchise, we're going to get some people back from, Madden 20 that maybe skipped 21 because they were big franchise guys. They're going to come into franchise. They're going to play it. I would guess at least 10% of people will go from franchise to MUT and at least test it out. You know what I mean? So having a better franchise mode and seeing the improvements that they made, getting those people over from franchise to MUT is going to be big for everybody. Just make the community even bigger. Yeah,
I mean, the best we can grow the community, all the better for it, I think, for sure. Yeah, man, I think I'm pretty excited about it also. So now looking forward to Madden 22 for the Zirk channel. Is it going to be a lot of what we know and love? Do you have any plans to expand or people you want to work with? Are we going to get you in, any of these like pack wars, bundle battles, like CC ScoMo type of action? Do you have any plans that at least that you can share with us for the Madden 22 plans for you specifically?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of the same content that I do. Dom and I had the MUT Bingo series this year, which did really good.
Nice.
We already have plans to bring that back, of course. I'm going to have pack and play. I'm going to have no money spent. If the weekend league rewards are actually good this year, I'll maybe stick with it a bit longer. The big thing for me was I actually stopped doing weekend league this year to do the no money spent series because, like, the views for it, the views are better. Like, if I grind out weekend league and I play 12 hours, right? And I get that done. I get the rewards. The video might get me, 15K views, whatever. I can hop on No Money Spent, do a gameplay, get that all done in a couple of hours, maybe pull more views. I was like, what's the point? And I have more fun with the No Money Spent. I really, really love, that's why I love like the beginning part of the year. Right. I love grinding and building out a team. Yeah, I buy packs, okay? Yeah, I buy a lot of packs. My team is good. But I love like grinding out the solos and stuff. Like I'm just a grinder. That's why like day one, those MUT levels drop. I'm on it. Like, I'm always on it. I'm still on it. Like, to this day, when new series come out, I'm one of the first people with video out on the MUT levels. And I get that done while doing my other videos as well. So I'm just constantly grinding it out. I want to get stuff done and just get it done there. I do plan on I have a Zirksee 2 channel, which I didn't upload much to this year. I had a plan for it. Things didn't really turn out to plan, as some things happen.
It happens.
Anytime that I stream, I put stream highlights over there, which I don't really stream much. When I do now, it's probably going to be on YouTube. I think for me personally, I like streaming on YouTube better.
Okay.
I plan on because I was talking to ScoMo about this actually even yesterday. I plan on actually transitioning probably all of my regular card gameplays So just new content, gameplays, not pack and play, nobody spent. That's going to stay on the main channel. I want to put my gameplays specifically over on Zirksee 2.
Okay.
So that I can actually give more time in between my uploads. Because a lot of the times I might do 4 vids a day, right? So I'll do content. I'll have it up by 11. Then I want to do a gameplay. I'll have that up probably at 2:30, or I'll alternate that and I'll have like a tip or a pack open at 2:30. And then I'll do a gameplay at 5:30. And then, oh, EA revealed something at 8. Boom, I got to do 8 p.m. I got to do this video. So that's 4 videos in one day on a channel, and I'm basically just stuffing them all down. So when you upload another video and you do 2 vids in one day, the second you upload that second vid, that first vid, like, it gets cut off a little bit. You'll notice, you can see the real-time analytics. You can see the drop. As soon as you upload that second vid, that first vid's going to get less views. So I want to get more time in between uploads. Makes sense. I think it's also going to help me as well, because most of my viewers, I understand this about my audience. A lot of my viewers, like, it's obvious to take a look at the views. Content, like early content vids, like the night, those are my best vids. Like 8 p.m. boom, content reveal, best vids. Then in the morning,
usually the first one with it out, usually.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of hype around it too. So like when I do the content vid in the morning, that's also a good video. But then the gameplay, you know, let's say the morning content vid gets me 30K views, right? The gameplay might only give me 10K. Then I'll do a pack opening or a tip video, whatever, and it'll give me 15, 20K, whatever. Then I'll do the reveal video, another like 20K views. So that gameplay, it's not having as high of a click-through rate. So when it's showed to people, they're not clicking on as much because they're not there on my channel to see the gameplay. So if I can just get my audience that's strictly on my channel for gameplay over to Zirksee 2, hopefully, and I know that I'm not going to do it at the beginning, it's not going to pull as many views as I would hope. Hopefully that channel will pull. It might have, you know, by the end of the year, 20K subs and every gameplay getting 10K views. You know what I mean? So it's getting very similar.
That's a big saturation, right? That's like a big penetration.
Exactly. But let's say I'll put my main channel and I get 15K views. Okay, so I lost 5K views there. But the thing is, instead of uploading a second vid at 2:30, so only getting my morning content vid 3.5 hours to eat, I'm gonna now push out that second vid at, let's say, 4:30. So now I'm giving it an extra 2 hours to eat. It might get 10, 15K more views, or if it's a banger, it might hit trending on gaming.
Yeah.
So I'm just really, really giving my vids more time. But also at the same time, if I upload to my second channel and the click-through rate is much higher because literally the people over there are only there to see the gameplays, that video could actually do even better than it would on my main channel, because YouTube's going to see the click-through rate. Oh, a lot of people are clicking on this video. It's doing good. Let's push it out to more people. Let's get it out there to more people's homepage. So it could be like where that video is doing even better than one of my main. And this is me, what, 5 years, almost 5 years into the game, and I'm doing something different now. And, you know, like, you can always change stuff up.
Bro, this algorithm magic that it seems like you guys have to compete with so often is like, I mean, I've heard it, you know, I started hearing about it this week, and of course continues with Zirk here, but it's like, even just the idea that you should separate channels, I think it was ScoMo mentioned, like, Mr. Beast has 9 different YouTube channels, like one for every tiny little niche of like what he might make a video about, now has its complete own home to live in, just based on the things that you're telling us about now. And again, stuff that like your average viewer or supporter of you would have no idea that that's part of what you need to consider, and part of like the brain mental work that goes into being successful with this thing is like, you gotta think about, you know, putting videos on a smaller channel, but actually in the long run it could wind up being better for you. And you mentioned early in the interview that it's like, you know, you're still figuring out the algorithm day to day as you go. Is this like, I mean, do you feel like anybody has a good grip on it? Does like, is it ever changing? Are you like, you learn it? Because clearly you're still learning things even up to this day. I mean, have you taken away any of like, I don't know, like the most important parts of the algorithm? Daily uploads seem huge. Like you say, allowing your videos some time to eat seems huge, but like, I don't know, is our best bet just to kind of listen to guys like you and ScoMo and CC and Pop who have tried to live with the algorithm? Like, do you feel like you got a good grip on it, or still not really?
I feel like with specific videos, I know what's going to do good. Like I could like, I literally have for Madden 22, I already have a list of 30 plus videos to do. Like I do this every single year. Like I know just what videos are going to do good. Like I can guarantee when I do a video, like day 1, day 2, and I do like, for instance, it's always one of my biggest videos all year, what to do day 1 of Madden 22. it's gonna get probably 150 to 200,000 views. Crazy. Like I would guarantee it. Like, you can come back to this interview in a year, take a look at what that video is going to do. It's going to do 150 to 200K views because those videos just, I know exactly what works, but then you don't for certain vids, right? I can do a pack and play, right? And this is literally the same series. I can do a pack and play. It can pull 20K views. Next video, 22K views. Cool. Next video, 25K views. All right, more people are watching pack and play.
Here we go.
12K views.
What happened?
What the hell? I'm like, what? And then, like, you look at, like, the titles of your vids, right? And I think I understand what titles do good. And then you upload literally a very similar video next week with a similar title and it does half as good. And you're like, dang. Like, I feel like a big thing that helps my channel, like, daily uploads help a lot. Mm-hmm. There are really two things that I pushed this year that I think help my channel a lot. Number one is just getting your brand out there.
There it is.
Zirk.
Come on,
Zirk is so big for my channel. Huge. Zirk is so massive. I literally have a 8x10 banner behind me of Zirk with, code Zirk, whatever. I feel like Zirk is such a big thing because not only does it get me more comments on my channel, but Twitter, right?
Yeah.
If you are on Twitter, you are guaranteed. You are guaranteed to see a Zirk tweet on your timeline probably once a day if you're in the MUT community. Like, it's just guaranteed. I just get so many tweets all day of Zirk, especially when Madden's popping. At the beginning of the game, it's gonna be crazy. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy.
Bro, so but you're even you've even tapped into like the super sub culture that now it's like we laugh about, like if somebody makes if someone has a good pull, we'll be like, all right, we'll just make sure you tag Zirksee and the Zirk. So now it's like it's such a part, it's so ingrained within the community that now you're getting like the secondary like jokes about it because everyone realizes, because like you said, you can't use Madden Twitter at all, especially at the beginning of the year, without Zirk getting tagged in XYZ, 100 different things, and it's dope, man. Like, to your point, I mean, mentions going crazy, engagement going crazy. It seems like a great thing for you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like even other YouTubers mentioned it, like ScoMo will be like, "Oh, we need the Zirk." Like, he'll just throw it in there, but it helps me. Throne did a video. I think he even titled the video something about Zirk.
Yeah.
CC will mention it. Like all YouTubers, because it's just like something that's so big in the community. By the way, shout out to McCullough. McCullough actually made this banner for me. McCullough is a legend. Like McCullough actually, I paid McCullough to make me a thumbnail template for this year, which is a big thing that I tried to improve on this year. Was my thumbnails, and I had McCullough make me a template, so it has like, the right glow to it. It makes the cards pop more. It's got good text. He does like my face cam cutouts. McCullough, I'm gonna hit you up in like a week with a bunch of pictures. You know what I need. You know what I need. So shout out to McCullough, bro. He's a legend. But
McCullough is a legend.
Dude, McCullough is so goated. But Zirk has been such a big thing for me, and I'm even gonna push it even harder this year. You know what I mean? Like literally anytime I get a good pull.
Zirk. I mean, but you could just point to it now. You just sit back.
Exactly why I did it. Exactly why I did it, bro.
That's hard.
It's gonna be like, imagine the Twitter clips when I pull like LTD, Dion, and Vic in the same pack again, and I just go.
Me meets. Oh, that shit goes so hard, bro. They're not ready for that.
It's gonna be it's gonna be all over. It's gonna be crazy. TikTok, Twitter, like it's gonna be nuts. And
then you tapping into TikTok? Are you sorry to interrupt? Are you tapping into TikTok? And also, Chu Flocka asked about YouTube Shorts. Are you tapping in anywhere there as well? What do you think?
I haven't really cared to do shorts.
Okay.
Mostly because I don't know. I wouldn't know exactly what to do with. I mean, I could do like gameplay short stuff like that, but I wouldn't upload that on my main channel because I believe that probably sends a noti out. That would use one of my noties. I would probably upload like Zirksee too. I would do like shorts and stuff. Gotcha. Shorts are really big though. Like they get pushed very, very, very hard. You see a lot of YouTubers, like Civil is one guy I think of, where like his shorts do really good and like he pulls a lot of subs off that. You know what I mean? They come watch his other content. Shorts can be really, really good. I might even make a shorts video or a channel literally just to promote my second channel. Like I'll do gameplay clips, like little short clips on Zirksee Shorts, whatever. And I'll be like, and then at the end, just put like full gameplay on Zirksee 2. Boom. Right. And get people over there, right there. Boom, boom, boom. Have like 3 channels. And then when NCAA drops, I'll have 4 channels because I plan on doing NCAA content. So you think I grind right now, bro. It's going to be crazy. NCAA as Ultimate Team, I'm going to get my vid done at 10:30 over here. Boom! Right to NCAA. I'm going to be knocking that content out, doing gameplays all day, packed. It's going to be insane.
Cannot wait, bro. I'm gonna have to get you a FENDTALKS shirt because we've been playing NCAA on stream for a while. So I'm like, making a little push. We got shirts for it and everything. Like if y'all need a community manager, okay, if you need me to Kralo this thing over here, I'm certainly available. I'm certainly available for you. NCAA hype, right? I mean, I feel like since the names and likenesses thing went through, that's got to be. I mean, it's got to be destined, right? It's got to be on the horizon. You think?
I think it's definitely going to be there. It's going to be a big thing. I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be. I don't even watch college football, to be honest with you. I don't even watch, but now I got to get into it. I got to get a favorite team. I got to get into it. I got to know what I'm talking about with these college players. So I got to get into it for sure this year. But I mean, I'm definitely going to be doing that for sure. And along with like the Zirk stuff, but also Noti Gang. I feel like Noti Gang is also a really, really big thing for my channel because that gets me a ton of more interactions every single day. Like I'll literally upload videos, right? Within the first minute, when it's popping Madden season, I'll have like 100 comments.
Crazy.
Boom. Because people will like the vid, make sure they're subbed, and comment down below, Noti Gang. And I'll get like 100 comments like that. So instantly, my videos have a ton of interactions on it, especially with the comments. Every interaction counts. A comment, a like. All that helps out videos. At least we think it does with the algorithm. Right. So we think it does. So that's something else that I push. So I'll get the Noti Gang comments. I'll get the Zirk comments. And then on top of that, I have the rest of the comments as well. So I feel like those two things specifically have helped my channel a lot. Even though, yes, this year was a down year. I think if we had a up year with stuff, and then on top of the Noti Gang, the Zirk, it's gonna be crazy, dude. It's gonna be crazy.
It could go fucking absolutely nuts, bro. Hell yeah, right. Zirk, bro. I want to tell you a story, if you don't mind. I know but we've been up for over 2 hours now, man. What a blessing for your time. You're an absolute legend for this. But I wanted to tell you this story. It's maybe a little bit intense in the circumstances, but it's a true story. And it was, when we booted up today, it was one that I wanted to make sure I was able to tell you about face to face personally. So the end of 2019, and this is also part of the reason I sympathize with your father's story so hard, between the herniated discs and the health problems that came after that. I dealt with some similar stuff. To make a longer story shorter, was working as a personal trainer for 7 years, had a great career I was very happy with, full book of business. In over a couple years, suffered multiple herniations in my lumbar spine, in my low back. So I know your father knows that, and I know you got the gist of that from watching him go through it. So I was left at a spot. My job fired me over it because I couldn't train anybody, if I couldn't walk, and circumstances got pretty rough, man. I'm open about my mental health. I deal with bipolar depression. Like, it's all good. Ain't nobody need to cry for me over it. You go through this stuff to get through this stuff. But in late 2019, kind of a lot of this came down on me all at once. The back pain I was in, the mental health troubles I was having. I lost the job over it. I was in an apartment I didn't like, and I was behind on XYZ financial bits, and things really imploded on me personally. And the right move for me at that time was to get some help. So I spent a week in an inpatient mental health facility, got myself right. Everything's all good. I'm feeling healthy getting out of there. And the story that I wanted to tell you was, while I was in this getting treatment for myself during that week, they take your phone and you're completely just like locked down within this place to get your mental right, to get yourself back on track and take care of the things that you needed to take care of. And I remember the first night out of the hospital, I'm coming back to real life now, and I want to pick up kind of where I left off. I'm at my apartment. It's late in the evening. My parents had done some cleaning around the place, so I mean, it looked nice, but I still wasn't really settled in, and I was feeling so out of touch, kind of just from missing the whole week of being previously tapped into everything, Madden included. And I'm not sitting here saying that you're saving the world with daily Madden uploads, but Zirk, I want to tell you personally that part of my experience of that night and of getting back to my real life and feeling like I caught up on the things that I had missed out over that week was going back through your daily uploads and feeling like I didn't miss as much because I went in order. Like I experienced it in the order that the stuff came out. I'll never forget it. It was whatever it was that year, like Zero Chill. It was like a Pat Mahomes and like a Vic came out and a Bo Jackson and I remember going the Ghost of Madden. That's exactly right. And I remember so vividly and so clearly the daily upload videos. Again, are you saving the world? No, but in that like instance, in that night, the fact that there was something for every day, and I felt like I kind of was there, even though I wasn't. I caught up on my Madden stuff, and it just helped bring me back up to speed. And I don't know if anyone else has ever shared an experience like that, but it was one of the stories that I felt like it was important to tell you that. You could be having an impact on somebody that, until today, you and I had never met. And it's been so fucking dope to sit down and talk to you for a couple hours. But that's a real story. And I will always remember like kind of my first night back to reality in a lot of ways. Your videos were a part of that. Were a part of like catching me back up to the spot I felt like that spot that I felt like I had left. And that was important for me, bro. That was really important for me. And it's something as simple as keeping your schedule and maintaining the streak. I'm so glad that it's returned to you and so many great things and such successes. But man, it's important in ways that maybe you didn't anticipate it being important. So I wanted to be able to tell you that personally and thank you for being, a small part of what helped me get to feeling back to real life and back to normal.
I appreciate it, man. I know there's a lot of people out there that maybe like watching YouTube videos and stuff like that is their escape. Like when I was younger, when I was living with my dad, living with my stepmom, going through the struggles, whatever. Like Golden Sports, like Mr. Golden Sports was a big escape for me. Watching Crayons, watching Anto, whatever. So that's awesome to hear. I'm glad you're doing better, of course.
Hell yeah,
that's awesome, man. I've had some experiences on Twitter where like. Literally, it was. I've had a couple like literally in the past year. It's some crazy stuff. Like, remember last year? I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, maybe like a year and a half, whatever. Mm-hmm. That someone tweeted at me, and they said, I think they were replying to a picture of me and my girlfriend at the time, and he was like, when are you gonna put a ring on it, Mr. Zirk? And then like the next day, I got a DM, and he was like, hey, I just wanted to DM you, let you know. My friend just died in a car accident, and he's like, he was a huge fan of you. He was a huge fan of you, And the kid's last tweet, he sent me the Twitter. The kid's last tweet was like at me, like, and I looked through his feed, and like a lot of his tweets were like at me. So like I knew that like I was a big part of his life, and then like boom, he's just gone. And like last year as well, I had it wasn't last year. It was like a couple months ago actually. I had received a DM from somebody who used to be in the military. Struggling with some stuff, and he DM'd me. He's like, hey Zirk, love your videos, man. Just want to let you know you've been a big part of my life. Like, goodbye. I'm like, goodbye? Like, what are you talking about, bro? It's like I was messaging him, whatever, and that was a big thing going on in the Madden community for like the next couple of days.
I actually remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to call I called the cops. I had figured out his location. He had it actually on his Twitter bio, and then going through his media, stuff like that, trying to find out where this guy was at. I contacted the cops, let them know, where he's at, got a hold of them. They called me back, said they know where he's at. A bunch of stuff went down, and I felt like, let's say my DMs aren't open, right? Let's say I don't have my DMs open. I'm going to be honest, I don't see all my tweets. I don't see all the tweets in me. I just don't. Like, I just get way too many tweets, way too many mentions. I don't see everyone. If my DMs aren't open, and if I'm not the dude that's on Twitter and I'm messaging him back, whatever, who knows? Maybe he isn't hearing. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy stuff like that. And he even reached out to me last month, and he said, hey, I want to let you know I'm doing better. Thank you for helping me, I even called the dude. Like, CC and I, we both called him, talking to him, like, yo, man, what's going on? Like, where you at? What's good? Just trying to help him out, and he's doing a lot better now. So it's stuff like that, dude. Like, you have a bigger impact than you may think. Now, for sure. Don't let it get to your head. Be a damn Hollywood person. There's a reason why, like, my Twitter DMs are always open. That I plan to always keep them open. I try to get back to people as much as I can. Anybody that needs help with anything, feel free to reach out. It may take a couple hours for me to get back to you if I get super busy, Like, I've had even people DM me, and like 20 minutes later, they made me be like, "You're too Hollywood to reply to DMs anymore, Zirk." And I'm like, bro, I just took an hour to record a video. I was recording, bro.
Second. I was napping.
Like, there's times like, yeah, man, I'll be recording a video at like 10:30. Get done with the vid, post it, reply to the first couple comments, boom, next video. Like, there's days where I like might pop open Twitter for 2 seconds, look at the notifications, see who got first. Okay, retweet that. Look at Zirk Luck, retweet all those, reply to a couple comments, whatever. Look at a DM or two. My DMs might be flooded, like, oh, I'll get to those later. And I'll just, boom, next vid, next vid, next vid. Like, it's just a cycle where I won't even check my Twitter DM sometimes, my requests, until like 7, 8 p.m. at night. Because I'm just finally done with work. Right. And I'm sitting here maybe playing some games, playing Weekend League, whatever, and I'll get back to DMs. I try to do my best to get back to people.
Dude, it's huge, man. I think it's and it was so refreshing to sit and talk to you, especially, you know, learning your story, your early story. And, you know, I think it's such a dope example for people to hear about somebody who, like you, like I said earlier, is willing to work at Burger King in multiple different states, walk to shifts as needed. If I only had an hour and anything in high school, even if I was a senior in high school, if I had an hour and 15 minutes and I could either do not shit before work or crank out a video, I'm not doing shit. So I love to hear that, like, you know, somebody who has worked as hard as you have for as long as you have, found the success that you deserve in a lot of ways. Because, you know, like we said at the outset of the interview, stuff like this doesn't really come up all that often. Like, we don't really have too many like occasions necessarily to tell people about origin stories like this one. And I mean, yours is just, you know, example 1A of such a valuable story that people can learn from, like, regardless of what you're doing or what our field is, you know, point blank period. So I guess, bro, I mean, to kind of, you know, turn the corner here and start to wrap it up, bro, 2 hours and 15 minutes with Zirksee, the legend, man. I mean, I'm just floored, dude. An inspiration for me personally, for sure. Is there anything, brother, any topics that, like, we didn't get to touch on, or any, you know, parting words that you'd like to leave with the congregation, as it were?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Whatever, like, and I know it's cliche, all right? People always say it. But I've always been a believer in it. Like, whatever you want to do in life, like, you can do it. It does not matter what it is that you actually want to do. Like, if you want to go to school to be an accountant, if you want to go to school to be a doctor, if you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to be a streamer, if you want to work in McDonald's, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, literally, whatever you want to do in life, you literally can do it. And I know some people might think of that like, yeah, of course you're going to say that because you made it. Well, you got to put in the work to make it. Like, exactly. There's a reason there's not 1,000 Madden YouTubers. There's a reason full-time Madden YouTubers, I don't even know how many of us there are. What, like 20? 25, less, 30 right. Maybe? Yeah. Maybe even less than that. Because those are the people that stick with it. They go through the hard times. They go through the June, Julys. They go through the struggle months. They go through, it took me 10 months to hit 1,000 subscribers. You know? It took me 10 months to hit 1,000 subscribers. Within 10 months of that, I had 10K. It just is how things work out. You never know. The next day might be the day you blow up. You just got to keep grinding every single day. Take it as a new day. Constantly work. You don't have to necessarily do like daily uploads if you don't want to do daily uploads, but always give 100% of your effort. If you're a guy that's into editing, you're really good at editing, make sure you always put 100% into that. Because the second that you do videos and you don't put 100% of the edits in that video, let's say you're someone like, you know, McCullough, you're someone like Dom, you're someone like Kenny Games, Mike Mack, Anto, people that have like super good edits, bro. The second you give 50% effort in a video that you post that, you're like, your stuff's gonna be like, yo, what's going on, bro? Like,
this ain't it.
What's going on? Why is the editing not at the point? Like, if you put 100% of that video, you better put 100% of that every single day. And someone like me, I know I don't have to do as much editing. That's not the brand that I built, but you just got to keep grinding every single day. I'm at the point I don't need to do daily uploads, but I feel like I want to keep doing it. I always have said this, like, the reason why I grind as much as I do now is for my kids when I have kids. Like, I don't want my kids to go through anything that I had an issue with. I want to be there. I want to be retired and have my kids and be able to go to all their school events, be able to go to their sporting events. Anything they need, they got it. Any help they need, they got it. They want me to play some freaking Call of Duty with them. I'm playing some Call of Duty with my kid. Hell like, yeah. That's why I grind as hard as I do now. It's more about taking care of my family, taking care of my parents, taking care of my grandma, taking care of my family that need help. And I love the pressure, honestly. I gotta be honest. I love the pressure of knowing if something goes wrong for me, there's gonna be some issues. You know,
Right.
I got bills to pay. Like I gotta take care of my parents, and I love the pressure because it keeps me going every day.
Dude, Zirk, man, this has been like fucking remarkable. It's like one of those experiences where, like, you know, like you're watching like a movie, or like, I mean, literally in this case, you know, someone I've watched hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of on YouTube. It's like you hope that they are like the caliber of person to, I don't know, for lack of a better term, like deserve the things that they have. And you know, I felt like that about you before, but especially after our conversation here today, I love to see good people succeeding. I love to see work ethic rewarded as it has been, and you know, you spreading love and keeping the DMs open, and just the path that you walked and how hard you had to work before shit got easier, and just like the path you've maintained this whole time. Like I said, I mean, it's an inspiration to me. I know it's an inspiration to a bunch of folks in the chat. I'm sure, I mean, the W's are going to get spammed like you've never seen them as we wrap this thing up here. But just the fact that you were willing to sit down with a relative stranger for a couple hours of your day when you got moving parts and you're in, you know, a relatively new home. And I mean, that's just really indicative of, I think, one of the many things that make you as successful as you are. And after, you know, having these couple hours to sit down and speak with you, I could say confidently that, I mean, I think Zirk to the moon. I mean, it's only going to be up from here, bro. Keep leading from the front. You are making a difference that, you know, you couldn't possibly anticipate for the 7 days that you were putting together videos in November of 2019. Made a massive difference in a stranger's experience of my day-to-day life, bro. And I can't think to say any more than that. You're an absolute legend, Zirk. It was an honor and a pleasure to sit down with you here, bro. I feel like I got to let you get on for the rest of your day here, partner.
I appreciate it, man. You know, absolutely. I loved coming on here, doing this interview. This is the first interview I've done. I've had other people ask me to do interviews as well, and I promise I didn't flake on them. It's just the timing of this worked out well, you know?
Good.
Timing of this worked out well, man.
Hell yeah.
I really appreciate you bringing me on. Best of luck to you this year, man. You're going to have a big year. Absolutely, man. I love, like, interacting with people who I don't even, like, I don't think of people as like, yeah, I know I'm considered like a bigger YouTuber in the community, whatever, but I don't really think of people like that. Like if someone wants to reach out to me and get some help, like feel free to reach out. If you want help with something, if you need advice on what to do, like reach out to me. If you're at the point where, you know, you're starting to pay taxes, whatever you need some help with that, reach out to me, especially you, Fen. If you need some help on tax and stuff, like there's a lot I can tell you about.
Oh, I'm tapping in.
Like anytime you see me tweeting out, okay, keep something low. Anytime you see me tweeting out, what vids you guys want tomorrow? That whole meal's a tax write-off.
I'm just saying.
Anytime y'all see the pizza, you see the chicken wings, you see a full course meal, what vid you guys want tomorrow? Business meeting.
This is chess. This ain't checkers, Zirk. You've been playing chess out here for many years, huh, partner?
It's chess, baby. It's chess.
Holy cow. Man, we're going to keep playing chess. Zirk, bro, like I said, man, keep leading from the front. We're all paying attention. We're all rooting for you. We got your back. I'm so happy to hear about all your accomplishments, and I can't wait to see what you come up with next year, brother. I hope you have a wonderful day, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure, Zirksee. Thank you again, for real, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I'll catch you soon.
See you, man.
All right, brother. Peace.
It was